Norn Queens and Gentle Xenos. Coming to you live from Rick Priestley's palatial mansion, this is the #1 Xenos shit show on the internet, the Creature Conference, and here is your host, Mr. Ping.
Hello and welcome to the Creature Conference, otherwise known as the internet's #1 Xenos shit show. I am your host, Mr. Pink, otherwise known as Modern Synthesist, and I am joined by two of my good buddies, Hydra, otherwise known as Simon. Want to say hello, Simon?
Hello.
Hello, and Flynnhammer, otherwise known as Flynnhammer. Want to say hello, Flynnhammer?
Hello.
Sorry, I did that because I didn't know if you wanted me to dox you with your real name.
Nah, just phrase either Flynn or Flynnhammer.
Okay, Flynnhammer, otherwise known as Flynn. Hello, Flynn. Welcome.
Hello again.
Hi. So, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been a holiday. Happy 2025 to both you guys. I don't know if I've said that to you.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a new year. The last time we streamed together, Simon sadly wasn't able to join us. I think that was December 20th or something like that. We did a special show about like the Xenos releases of 2024, which was great because I had forgotten a bunch of Xenos releases from 2024, and Flynnhammer thankfully reminded us. And then we did a cute little quiz where Flynnhammer dutifully went back through all the Warhammer 40k models on Games Workshop's website and pulled out the ones that were oldest and tried to get... Was Symbio here? No. Who was it? Oh, Kajan. Me and Kajan to guess them. I think Symbio was in for some of it. And I still don't believe that Flynnhammer didn't like tweak them because there's some that I have concerns about. So we'll see if Simon shares those concerns because Simon, you were unable to join us last time for the quiz. So you're going to be the victim, the subject of the quiz this time.
Oh,
Just
yes.
to think, there have been changes on the website since we last did the quiz.
Ooh, this is current. This is right up to date.
So it's up to last Wednesday.
Thank you. Well, I don't think anyone's going to check beyond last Wednesday. I think the concerns that I had were from before last Wednesday. But we'll see. And
I double checked those concerns as well.
oh, good. Okay. Well, for anyone who doesn't know, the Creature Conference is brought to you by Germany, and we always have to have a quorum of Germans on any stream that happens on my channel. So, Simon, thank you for being our German quorum this time. And last time we had Symbio Joe and Kajan on here. I'm not saying that we need two Germans to make up for you, but, well, we had two Germans on in replacement of one, so... Anyway, I hope you had a good date with your neighbors. I think that's what you're doing, right?
Yeah, that was actually really pleasant. Yes, it was great.
Great.
I learned a lot what you can throw on a Jesus. Do you have raclette? Raclette?
Oh, raclette. It's is it something to do with cheese?
Yeah, you have this little oven thing on the desk.
Yep.
Where you put little pans in.
Well, I think we call it fondue. I think we take like the French / maybe I don't know, let's call it that.
Well, yeah, but the fondue is at least in Germany there are two different kinds. You can either do the usual fondue, which would be boiling fat in which you throw in meat and cook it that way.
Yep.
Or you can do a cheese fondue.
Yeah, I think same. We do. There's two kinds of fondue, but I feel like in Canada at least, people only really do the cheese fondue. They only really talk cheese fondue.
Yeah, so the raclette is something different.
Oh, what's that then?
Yeah, it's like everyone gets a small pan.
Yep.
Like I don't know, smaller than the CD size.
Yep.
And there's some special French cheese. It's particularly made for this kind of meal.
Yeah.
And you melt. The basic idea is that you take these little pans and melt cheese in them.
Yeah.
And then you pour that over usually potatoes with my family likes some sour vegetables to that, like pickles or pickled onions, stuff like that.
Yep.
But I learned that most of the time this device comes with a top that gets hot as well, so you can use it like a frying pan on top.
Okay.
And we usually throw on that on grand occasions like Christmas or stuff, or New Year's Eve. We throw on there some meat, like fillets, some nice meat that gets in small slices, so it's done quickly. And I learned that with my neighbors. That's basically what we do. Melted cheese on mashed potatoes with some different sauces and
That sounds good.
Pickled vegetables, and maybe a little bit of meat. But my neighbors, what they did was they got out some tacos and some sour cream and different stuff you can throw on and throw on the top on this pan thing some is it minced meat?
It depends
Sorry,
on
I think
what
we call it ground beef.
Ground beef, yes. Minced, ground, whatever. So that's what they did, and then they cooked the meat on top, and then they put on crushed some tacos into this little pan, and then added the meat and throw on some cheese, and then it went into the oven again. And then I learned from some friends that they make little pizzas that way.
Whoa,
So
this is really cool.
Weird oven to make tiny pizzas. I don't know. Well, it's apparently everyone has their own way of having this dinner, and that was very interesting to something that I have always taken for granted to work in a very particular way. Because my family is doing that a certain way, I was expecting everyone else to do it the same way.
Yeah.
What should I've learned by now? Anyway, that was pretty cool.
Good.
So learn new things.
Awesome. And I was going to ask you guys how your holiday periods, Christmas, New Year's, whatever, went. But then I realized there's something I want to show you. I don't have it here. I have to go get it. So, is there anyone? Oh, also, I can't see the chat. Flynn, are you on the chat?
Yeah. So we've got. Sorry if I pronounced this wrong, but Sylvia Moshik says, "Yo, greetings from Austria."
Yo, Austria! Hello, Sylvia. Sylvia, you get the prize for being the only person to show up in the first person to show up on this chat. Usually, I schedule these things in advance to give people notice. I've had a bit of a week, so I did not do that this time. People who long listen to the Creature Conference know we usually do this on Friday evenings. And sometimes I warn people if I'm not able to do it on Friday evenings, but I've been dealing with some family stuff this week with my elderly father. He's okay, but he's going through some stuff. So I was not good about pre-scheduling. So I pre-scheduled Flynn and Hydra, but I didn't get this thing pre-scheduled on YouTube. So I'm happy for anyone who shows up, basically. Long story short. So Sylvia, thank you for showing up. Good to see you. And thank you for the greetings from Austria. I hope the weather is nice in Austria. It's very snowy here in Canada. I'm in Toronto, Canada. Toronto, Ontario, but whatever. And yeah, I heard it was really snowy in the UK recently. Is that correct?
Yes and no.
Oh.
Further north than me, yes. Where I am in London, no. It's okay. I think we had a little light dusting, about 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. I saw it, and then by 9:30 it was gone.
Oh, okay.
It turned to rain. But the rest of the UK has been covered in it.
What's that, Simon?
We actually are having snow here.
Oh yeah! Congratulations!
Yay!
I don't know. That's exciting, man. I was listening to this thing the other day, and it was kind of depressing, where they were talking about with global warming, we might get to a point where we don't get snow. Like anyone gets snow, except for really remote areas, which made me very sad because I love snow.
Yeah, and that was one of the thoughts that I had today. I was having the afternoon with my boys out in the garden. They were playing with the Star Wars toys in the snow, building houses and all that. And I was standing there with our elderly dog and she will turn 14 this year, and she was kind of bugging me. And I was for a brief second, I felt like, oh Jesus, be gone and leave me alone. And then I realized how precious this moment was. That I was out in the garden with the kids. Everyone's safe.
Yeah.
Everyone's sound. We're having snow, and this dog, she's doing very well, but I'm not. I cannot, attest that she will be there next year to have snow again.
Yeah.
So this as well might be, I don't want to be too depressive, but
Her last memory of it
could possibly be her last snow, and suddenly this whole, oh Jesus, I'm a little bit annoyed by all this, turned into, oh my God, I think I'm going to lay down and cry in the snow. Feels so, so precious.
I don't know what it is about today, but Nora and I were out like having brunch, and we got into like deep, meaningful conversations about like, well, the problem is we started talking about Arrival. Have you guys both seen Arrival, the Denis Villeneuve movie about the aliens?
Oh, the one that's
Don't ruin
edited.
it. Don't ruin it.
The way it's edited, and you realize at the end how it's been edited.
It's a lot more than that, but yeah,
but
that would be the one.
That's so I don't give anything away.
Good. Simon, have you seen Arrival?
Not sure.
It's the humanity.
Jeremy Renner and
what?
The woman who played Lois Lane in the Snyder films.
Is it new?
It's kind of new. It came out a few years back. It's alien spaceships land on Earth, and like 12 of them land. 12? Is that right? I don't know. Land in different countries. And the humans go on board, and they're trying to communicate with the aliens, and it's told from this perspective of a linguist who's hired to like communicate.
Yeah, saw that.
Yeah, I love it. What?
The film's nearly 10 years old. It's not really new.
No, are you serious?
Oh, no. It's 2016.
God, I'm old. Okay,
they filmed it in 2015.
All right, so it came out a while ago, but it's an excellent movie. It's one of Denis Villeneuve's, like, he's a wicked director, the guy who did Dune. If you haven't seen Arrival, don't read anything about it, because there's like a twist in there kind of thing, and it's totally worth it. It's sad though, trigger warning, like sadness, loss. But we were talking about that, and we were talking about like how precious life is, and like how we, even though we know that like our dog is gonna die, we still decide to get a dog. And like, yeah, it was heavy. It was a heavy conversation. So it reminds me of what you're kind of talking about, Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah, just appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. To get out of this mood, I feel like I can finally have caught up, and since we haven't talked in a while, like longer, did you ever talk about on stream about Alien Romulus?
Did we?
No,
I don't know.
I think you talked about it on the Working Wednesday.
Oh
stream.
yeah.
We
Shane,
haven't talked about
Voices
it on here
Silent yet. Is like one of the world's hugest xenomorph alien fans. So yeah, we would have talked about it, but we can talk about it here. But wait, I
haven't seen it yet.
Who hasn't seen it yet?
Me.
Oh
Flynn.
No, Flynn.
I haven't had the chance to see it.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe we send.
Okay, what I did, I got bored. No, not bored. I got
inspired.
I didn't want to wait anymore.
Yeah.
So what I did was I simply bought it, like the old-fashioned way. Hey, I'm not going to wait until, I don't know, one streaming service or the other, does it. I just bought it. Well, I didn't buy a hard copy. I bought a
digital,
the stream thing. But at least until the world burns, this is going to be mine, and I can rewatch it as often as I want.
Yeah.
But
have you watched it yet?
Yeah, I did for my birthday.
Oh, good. Okay.
And,
dude, that reminds me of what was your story? Your Alien Resurrection story, where you were like, I wanted to watch it for my birthday, and you were staying with your like uncle in America, and like you rented it, and he was like, you can't watch this, it's rated R, and you had to take it back.
Exactly. So I decided, well, on my birthday, I'm gonna watch this, and luckily my wife fell asleep pretty early. That made the movie more enjoyable.
Okay.
Because she's not very much into scary things, and
Not as big a fan as you are. Yeah.
yeah. So that was pretty intense, and I didn't watch it straight the whole thing. I watched I think the
Parts?
first half.
Yeah.
Until the real there's a
Don't-
reveal in there, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil it. No
Yeah.
no worries. But I watched it until that point where I was not sure where it was going.
Yeah.
So it was obviously there was an alien, that was
Yeah.
sure. But other than that, I had no clue where this whole thing would take me.
Yeah.
And that was a very interesting experience to watch a movie to that point.
Yeah.
And then life decided that I didn't have an evening off to see the rest for, I don't know, a week or so.
Mhm.
And then after that week, I went back and watched the rest. And that week, man, that really got me. That really got me because it was a very intense and great movie.
Mhm.
At least in my book. I don't know
Yeah.
how folks feel about it, but I know that Spencer said that you should watch it. You should watch it.
Yeah, Spencer loved it, and Spencer's a huge miniature loading doc. Nope, miniature Spencer, otherwise known as Loading Doc. If you want to check him out on Instagram, he is someone who actually is professionally employed to make miniatures. He's one of the sweetest dudes I know, but he's also obsessed with Alien. Like he 3D printed himself. Was it a Sulaco?
Yeah.
The Marine ship from Aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he 3D printed like a big giant one for himself, and he has a collection in his studio of like 15 different scale models of the APC from Aliens, the Armored Personnel Carrier. Anyway, yeah, Spencer gave it 2 alien thumbs up, definitely.
So when he did that, I felt that I could do it. That I should watch it. The funny part is that when I got my first son, I guess the last time I have been at the movies before the kids were born, I think that I watched Alien Covenant.
Oh God, yeah, I hate that movie.
And yeah, so did we. And then my last son was born, and suddenly there's another Alien movie, and I felt like, oh come on, are you kidding me? I'm not going to see that.
6 years,
Huh?
7 years.
Yeah, 7 years. And I decided not to see it because the last one had been so disappointing.
Oh,
and suddenly,
okay, yeah.
yeah, and suddenly it turns out to be so good, and yeah.
I enjoyed it. I feel like there was too many callbacks to other movies, but it was good.
I think it was a great mixture.
Yeah.
There were new things introduced. Like new concepts.
Yep.
And new ideas, and more information about Utania and all that.
Yeah,
that was great. And then on the other side, it kind of ticked off all the other this is an Alien movie boxes that you need to tick.
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool. And I always felt like in the past Alien movies, I missed Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And here I didn't. It was okay that there was someone else running the show.
Oh, you mean like the Covenant and Prometheus? You missed her in those.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Well, like it's very much a homage to previous Alien films, and like I think that the main character is also a homage to Sigourney Weaver. I don't like.
Of course,
we recast a young Sigourney Weaver, sort of badass, smart lady character.
The first and the second.
Huh?
Is it set like between
Yes
Alien and Aliens? That's yeah.
No, it's after the second.
Oh, it's after the second.
It is? I thought it was before.
I thought it was the colonists going to that planet.
Because Bishop is back, right?
Spoiler, yeah. No, not Bishop. Wait, is Bishop? Oh shit. Okay, whatever. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm mixing things up.
Kane.
He's the one from the first film, yeah.
So
Yeah.
Simon, it's a good thing
Yeah.
that you rented it, because apparently I just read an article that they fixed the CG for that character between the film coming out in theaters and the film coming out in like streaming rent to home thing. Because he looked bad in theaters. Like he was distracting. Okay. It was distracting. And like the director has admitted that they cut corners because they were running out of time. And that when they were preparing the movie to release for like home viewing, he demanded that the studio give more time and more money to the people who were supposed to do the CG. And he claims they did a better job.
Oh, that's right. You can still kind of tell.
Yeah.
But as it is how do they call themselves? Artificial person?
Yes.
Android.
Synthetics? Do they call them synthetics?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Android? Yeah.
You know, it's not that bad anymore. And I had an interesting conversation with a student the other day.
Yeah.
About female representation in films.
Yeah.
In movies, and she knows that I'm doing Warhammer and all that, and she's a nerd herself. She runs with some friends some D&D campaigns, and she's into sci-fi and Star Wars and all that.
Yeah.
And we were talking about female representation.
Yeah.
And how she felt about female space marines. And
female space marines, we're gonna get canceled.
Sorry?
I said, female space marines, we're gonna get canceled. Fine. I love it. Bring it on. Like, did she mean space marines in Alien, or she meant like space marines like Warhammer?
No, in Warhammer.
Yeah.
And she said that she doesn't like the idea. And I was surprised. And her argument was that she doesn't like the idea of having kind of a male concept, and that's enforced onto a female.
Oh, interesting.
And I have never thought about that from that perspective. And she said she likes the Sisters of Battle better because there are females who have like female roles. She said at some point in the conversation she's literally sick of females being forced into those male positions.
Okay.
And that made me think of Sigourney Weaver and also Alien Romulus.
Yeah.
How fragile the main character is, and that this fragility. Oh,
agility?
Jesus.
Agility?
Yeah. Makes the character and the movie so much more better because it makes the monster even more scarier because it's a task harder to topple.
Can you describe her as fragile in the movie? I didn't picture her as being fragile in the movie. Interesting.
Oh, like, she was.
Not fragile beyond like what a human would be. I don't know.
She was tough as nails, but she was struggling.
Yeah.
She was not like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm Rambo. I'm going through this no matter what."
Yeah. Would you describe Sigourney Weaver the same way? That her character was portrayed as like fragile in a way, not Rambo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, for example, when she in Alien 2, when she Aliens, when she takes up the kid.
Yeah.
And she runs around with the kid and she straps the gun to herself.
Yeah.
The gun is not in proportion to her. The gun is too large for her.
Yeah.
And other than with Space Marines, it doesn't make her look more threatening. It made her like hustle with that rifle and struggle with it and trying to get the thing work, and it doesn't work on the first, and that made it more believable, and therefore I think it made the monster on the other side even more threatening.
Interesting, yeah.
Imagine,
I would say that like all humans should, like, you could do that with dudes too. That the male characters could also be fragile, screwing up, not superheroes, and that would be
Of course.
realistic.
Of course, that would be like, I don't know if that could work. Imagine watching Aliens and suddenly I know the dudes suddenly start fidgeting around with their guns and be
I
like,
think that
"Oh
would be
yeah,
normal,
ooh,
like when you're under like duress and stuff like that, and you're
of course, no, of course it would be natural.
yeah.
I
Put you out
don't
of it.
I would just expect that the audience would not be able to tell this apart,
Okay.
because you're going to an alien movie and you are expecting some monsters and some guns, and someone's shooting the guns at
Yeah.
the monsters.
Yeah.
And suddenly the person who's shooting the gun is not knowing its way around with a gun. If it's a
Right.
male, I think it would be quick the assumption that he's just an idiot. For example, in Aliens 2, there's this Burke.
Oh yeah,
The
I was
the
gonna say his character, the guy from Weyland-Yutani.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I wouldn't expect him to know his way around a gun.
Yeah, and he's struggling. He's not. He's running around and be like, "Oh yeah, you need to protect me." Ooh.
Yeah.
And he is not. He's not a. I would say a good character. Not in.
Not like good or bad, just like not a convincing character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting.
Yeah. No, it's definitely worth watching, Flynn. You should watch it. It's very good.
Yeah, definitely. I've got it on my list of things to watch. It's just getting the round 2 watching it.
Yeah, I get it. It was good. I didn't think it was amazing. Like, I wish it was a little... Like, it was pretty original. There was a lot of cool stuff in there. Simon?
Yeah.
Gravity? I love the gravity stuff. That scene with the gravity.
Oh, that was amazing.
I thought that was
cool.
That was, for me, the most interesting new thing. Like, there's other good stuff, but that I really enjoyed.
That was super cool. Something I cannot recall having seen that anywhere before.
Yeah.
In that way, how it worked, because it felt like it was really thought through.
Yeah.
So how does it work? And not everything's floating, and it's still 2-dimensional.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. But yeah, like the stupid lines, like some of the lines that they parodied from other films. In fact, like one of my least favorite lines in all of Alien, it's probably other people's favorite line. I think it's stupid. Is in that repeated in that movie, and I'm like, oh my god, really? You had to choose that shitty line? It's a very 80s line. It's a very 80s line. I don't know that you'd get away saying it these days, but whatever.
What was it?
I don't want to say it. I don't want to spoil anything for Flynn. I'll tell you later. I'll send you a text.
Okay.
You can say the line because I'll probably forget it.
Oh, no. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. It's said by the android when he's trying to protect his friend / master, whatever she is.
Okay.
Here we go. I'll send it to you. Yeah.
Doing barnacles is a pain in the ass.
What's that?
I said doing barnacles.
I'm glad you did it for me, buddy. When you did the dudes for not Solstice, that's your thing. Or Visterion.
Yeah.
I would not enjoy sculpting barnacles. You did a very good job.
Thanks.
Nora was extremely impressed. Again, we were talking... I don't know how we got on the topic, but Nora's got a buddy over right now, and they're building this, like, miniature scene or something. It's like a kit where they give you all this, like, MDF stuff and, like, decorations, and you have to, like, pop it all out and assemble it. And her friend was asking me about my miniature stuff, and I was talking about my miniature stuff, and she's like, oh, can I see some of your, like, stuff that you've worked on? So I, like, showed her, like, this guy that I'm working on now. I'm like, oh, yeah, all the green stuff is stuff that I sculpted, and all the gray stuff is, like, the original model. And then in the same box, I had your... Oh, I have it right here. I'm going to call it I'm gonna call it your abyssal gene stealer. Your underwater gene stealer that you made that didn't manage to make it to the table for Vesterian, but I promise I'm gonna make him to the table one day. Put it up on the camera here. So yeah, this is your abyssal gene stealer, and her friend was asking about like, oh, isn't it hard? Like, do you have any of those glasses that have magnifying glasses in them to help you see what you're sculpting? And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, no, but I tend to sculpt in like a large scale. Like this guy's like a pretty big scale. And I'm like, now my friend in Germany, Simon, he's much better at sculpting in small scales than I am. Like, here's an example of something that he sculpted. And Nora's right there, not a word of a lie. She's like, oh yeah, his friend Simon is so good at sculpting, like amazing. Like he's just everything he does is so perfect. I'm like, lady, I'm standing right here. Like, what the fuck? So Nora's a big fan of your work.
Oh, so lovely. So nice.
Oh, Jade Finch is joining us from Hawaii. Hey, Jade Finch.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us.
I saw that just a second ago. That's amazing. Look how international we are today.
Jade was in
Austria,
I think Jade
Germany.
was in Texas for a long time. So now they're in Hawaii. I hope you're having a great time out there. It's early in Hawaii. It must be like, what, I don't know, 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning? Jade, let us know. And Chaos and Creatures joined us, said, I loved Romulus personally. There were a few things I didn't like, but the story and practical effects were incredible. I would agree with that, and thank you for joining us, Chaos and Creatures. I don't remember seeing you here before, but this is a different time than we normally stream, so glad you can make it. And Radon995's here. Radon, thank you for being our, well, I guess Jade was our first regular viewer to comment, but Radon, thanks for being our second regular viewer. I gotta run and get something that I want to show you guys. Does anyone want to volunteer to talk about how their holiday went and if they got into any hobby nonsense? Simon?
Glenn,
Glenn?
go ahead. My holidays have been family holidays and not very exciting on the hobby front.
Glenn, you want to go for it?
Yeah, I'll go for it. So, hobby-wise for me, when Christmas comes, it's like a whole, okay, tidy everything up, put it away. But what I was able to do, though, was I was able to like get a handle on everything for the plans for the new year. So, the army of trolls, dogs of war, actually getting them all based and getting that all sorted out. And
Nice.
it's just because I've been able to do that, it's helped me get ready for this year. Just taking December out as I'm not actually hobbying, like doing models, like making any models, painting, etc. But using it as let's get stuff ready to go for the new year. Really good way of doing it, because when you're short on time, best thing you can do is maximize what you can do with that time to help you down the line.
Yeah.
So being able to go, all right, this is going to get put into place, this is going to get put into place, just helps a lot more than you actually realize it does. So like one of the things was just, I don't know how to put it, but it was just getting the trolls just organized in a way of, okay, this is the order for it that I'm going to build them in, so I'm able to get the most done in the short space of time. This is what I need to get. This is what I need to, like, for example, I'm going to be painting them as slap chop and then painting them up. It's like, okay, what do I need to do to get that done in this simplest time possible? And also, one of the best Christmas presents I got was I'm going to be getting myself an airbrush booth.
Yay!
Oh,
Congratulations!
Use one, but I'm not getting it until like March at the earliest.
Yeah.
Just because where I do my hobbying is out in a garage which not got its own heating system, so you have to put like heaters on in there, so like portable radiators, etc. But it's just, if I'm not going to be able to use the booth for a few months, there's no point buying it, and then by the time I'm getting to use it, turns out, oh, there's issues, or the issues happened a bit further down the line.
Mm-hmm.
making
Yep.
it harder to return it. So I'm going to get that later down in the year. But it's already got me motivated to get everything in a place of that's all ready for March, and then March is just painting all the way through the year.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, someone said to me that investing in time
Infrastructure?
invested in infrastructure is never a wasted time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and I kind of stick to that. Zebo is also I usually cleaning up is far from my cup of tea, but he said if I have just 10 minutes to myself in the evening, then I clean up my workspace or I clean something up. So when I have more time, I don't need to do the cleanup thing then.
God, that's so smart. I need to do that.
And that I stick to that, and I do that more frequently these days, and it is incredible how much it helps. It helps in different ways. Maybe it's my age, and suddenly I'm satisfied and I feel progress when I have done some cleaning up. But it helps to get things sorted, and it sorts the brain as well. And as you said, Flynn, you kind of plan your steps a little bit better, and that's really good.
I've
And so you have everything ready when you're set to go.
Exactly.
I wasn't able to use my studio in the summer because it got way too hot in there and I need to get an air conditioner. And I set myself up in our basement, and I've been hobbying in our basement since then. And my studio has just become like a dumping ground for junk. I'm like, over the holidays, I'm like, I'm gonna take a whole day and clean up my studio. Didn't happen. So now I should follow the Zebo Hydra book and go out there, do a little bit of cleaning every day, and it'll gradually get done. That's like my favorite hobby advice is to try and do a little bit of hobby every day. It came from Miniac and Ninjon. They said, like, every day put some paint on your brush. You don't have to paint anything, but you just have to put paint on your brush. And then once you've got that paint on your brush, it's kind of a waste to not put it on a model. But it's kind of like breaking down the process, so you don't have to, you're not overwhelmed by it. You're not like, oh, well, what am I going to paint? And where am I going to paint? What am I going to do? Like, you don't have to think about all that. Just put some paint on your brush and then see what happens. Kind of thing.
And I feel this overwhelming factor is a little bit an issue with the gaming systems.
Yeah.
Well, 40K is a very large system.
Yeah.
And I think I cannot see myself going back to make a 40K army.
No,
because it would overwhelm me with, like, there's so many things that I need to do to get to a point where I can actually play.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to play, like, the only way I'd make a 40K army is just to, like, be able to see a concept through to fruition. Like, I might play with it once, but it's kind of wasteful. But just being like, hey, I should make an army that's like all like weird Lictor inspired models, and then I can enter it in some army competition and maybe take it to one tournament ever. But sorry, I interrupted.
I feel like there are few models that I have built that I have never played.
Yeah, you're good at that.
And it always for some reason it's the justification for me to make models, because I can play with them at some point.
Yeah.
I have come to the point where I lie to myself. In that regard, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to build this because I like it right now, and maybe one day I will find a system or reason why I play that.
Or you just find a friend who's having a gaming event, you just send it to them to play with, like you did for Vestarian.
Yeah, that's another good excuse.
Flynn,
sorry.
I was gonna say, Flynn, did you have anything else that you wanted to share about your holiday time or hobby updates or anything like that?
No, that was it, really. No, that's it, really. December's not really a very busy month. I don't really plan anything hobby-wise for it, so just getting that stuff done is always good. Like, even if, as they're saying, like, do a little bit of hobby, put paint on your brush, even just making a plan is still hobby, like tidying something up. If it helps you do your hobby, it's still hobby.
True. I agree. Like that. Hydra, how was your holiday? Did you get up to much hobby stuff? I saw you posting hobby stuff, doing stuff with your kids, so you better not tell me you didn't do anything.
During Christmas, I did do nothing hobby wise.
Well, fortunately, we haven't spoken to you in like more than a month, so
Yeah.
how about your last month?
Honestly, in December, I barely managed to get the solstice sculpt done.
Shocking! Almost as if someone told you shouldn't do it because it would kill you.
Yeah, and well, no one's going to hear this, but it was just a fair accident, I guess, at work, that made it possible.
Oh, good.
These days, I'm not. This is the first time I'm hobbying in the evening at home in, I don't know, since end of November.
Oh, wow.
And all the other hobbying time that I have, or everything else I have done hobby-wise, has been at work. Lunch break.
Yeah.
And there has been a class that I was supposed to teach for 5 hours straight on
what? How is that possible?
Oh, that's my schedule.
How can you teach a class for 5 hours straight?
I have 1 hour that I'm teaching them religion, then we have a break where I am observing them, and then I have another lesson of religion, and then I have 2 hours of art.
All with the same class?
All with the same class, yes.
Holy toot.
Let me add that this is the most I will call them exhausting because there are other words I have for them, but I'm not going to use them.
Yeah.
That's the most exhausting class that I have, and I used to have them only in religion, and now for reasons I have them in art as well, and it's a massacre.
It's like a
every
marathon.
time. Yeah. So, but maybe as the universe's payback, this class was on a field trip. The last day in the week before Christmas.
Yeah.
And my apparently no one needed me to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
To attend to another class, and so I have a break before that. Before I go into these 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I had this break, and then I had them not being there, but everyone. I was surprised by that. I thought that would never happen, but it didn't change until the last minute. And then I said, "Well, apparently I'm having free now for 3 hours or more, just to myself, where no one knows that I'm free." And
the best kind of free.
Secrets.
Yes. So I did. I did hide in the basement of my workplace. Locked the door and sculpted this motherfucking one go. No, mainly one go, because otherwise there would have been no time for that.
Yeah. Good. And you were helping charity while you were doing it.
Yeah.
So we can't promote it now, but for anyone who is curious, Simon does Solstice 28 as a charity thing. It's really cool. He creates a unique bust, casts it, and sends it to people. And they don't have to send him any money. They just have to send money to a charity. From like 3 or 4 charities chosen? And then they send you a receipt, and then you send them a miniature.
Yeah, and that's fun. And I think I have I didn't promote it that wide and broad as the past years, but
yeah,
I think I have over 20 participants.
And how much money did you raise this year?
That's what I have not looked into by now.
Well, 20 participants, and like the cheapest thing they can buy is like €20 or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you made at least €400.
Yeah,
Like,
and I know two donations, which is of my brother, which are exceeding these.
Minimums.
Yeah.
Is this my dear sweet nephew Harry Potter?
Yes.
I was gonna say he's the one of your brothers who I know to be into miniatures.
Yeah, and he's a rich doctor by now, and so he can spend his petty money on.
Isn't he still doing his schooling, or no? He's done schooling now.
No, he's done. But for Christ's sake, I would not change to his life, because he posted the other day a picture of a supper, of a dinner he was having, and we were like we were intrigued, and we're like, okay, so what's the occasion for you to have this fancy supper with your girlfriend alone in this very special place? So what's cooking there? And he said, well, we were celebrating. So she's a doctor as well, and he
Yes.
said we're celebrating that we are having the first evening together in 4 months.
Oh my god.
3 months,
Oh my god.
because they're both on shift,
Yeah.
and they always miss each other.
So for the holiday, Nora and I went to New York City because my cousin, who you met, Simon, one time,
Yes.
he lives in New York City. He's also becoming a doctor, and he works in the ER, emergency room.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And he has no control over his schedule because he's what we call a resident. Like it's like when you're still doing your training to be a doctor, you're not a full doctor yet. You get paid and you work in you do doctor stuff, but you need to you have to do like a test at the end of it, I think. So he's working, he had the night shift while we were there.
Oh,
and
geez.
he didn't know his shift until like a month before, and we had already booked our tickets. So he's like, sorry, I'm going to be on the night shift when you guys are here. And this was like Christmas Day, the day after Christmas, and a couple of days before New Year's. So we made the most of it. Like we planned to like always go and see him when he was available between the hours of 4:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. when he had to leave for work. And it worked, but I can understand your brother never seeing his wife. Wait, girlfriend, wife, girlfriend.
Girlfriend, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that really is rough. It's crazy.
But he's got cash to support Solstice, so that's good.
Yeah.
I feel like both of your brothers are making some coin.
No.
Oh, okay.
My other brother could possibly be, but he decided to have a crazy wife and too many kids.
Okay.
And now he's always moaning about like, oh yeah, yeah. So they bought a house.
Okay, that's expensive work.
They have set up like everything he does is madness, and they put up this madness schedule.
What?
where they they bought the house in, what was it, end of September.
Yeah.
And they plan to move in at the end of November.
Yeah.
And of course, guess what? This didn't work.
They were doing construction?
Yes. Yeah. They were renovating the shit out of this place.
Okay.
And of course, it all didn't work.
Renovations never finish on time.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I also did was I played that game. I'm kind of making up with my son. Mm-hmm. We played it over Christmas.
Yeah. What's it called?
We call it the Enchanted Ghent.
Ghent is forest, or?
Yes. He basically calls it the magical forest game.
Yeah. And you're like, that's not cool enough, buddy.
Exactly. That needs to be cooler. But yeah, he's all into that, and he got some miniatures for Christmas, and
what'd you get him?
Yeah, sorry?
What miniatures did you get him?
I got him some goblins from War Games Atlantic.
I knew it was War Games Atlantic. It's kind of like when you talk about Frostgrave, we're supposed to take a drink. When you say miniatures from War Games Atlantic, we're supposed to take a drink.
Oh Jesus, that reminds me, my beer is still outside. Yeah, well, I have the goblins from Oldhammer, and I love this kit to death.
Yep.
But I felt like he could. No, it wasn't. He wanted some. He wrote on his Christmas wish list that he wanted goblins for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get. Sorry.
Because you're raising him right. That's a sign that you're being a good father. When your kid asks for goblins for Christmas.
Yeah, ask my wife. She thinks otherwise, but
well, that's fine. She can think whatever she likes.
Yeah. Well, so I couldn't get the Oathmark ones, but I love them, and they're a great kit. But so I got the from War Games Atlantic.
Yeah.
And they were cool, and he built like most of them in one morning.
Yeah.
He kind of disappeared into his own room. He has, since his birthday, he has his own tools and plastic glue. And so I wanted to, for his birthday, I wanted to set him up to be not dependent on me anymore. Because I felt that I always have to, make time for it.
Yeah.
And there have been way too often that I had to say, sorry, buddy, but I need to be doing this, or need to get this organized, or go shopping, or whatever.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the schedule of an adult. He should be hobbying whenever the fuck he wants.
Yeah. Good.
So he has his own tools now, and but he didn't have much miniatures anymore.
Yeah.
He is out of miniatures again, because there were 30 goblins in this box, and I think he built at least 20 this one morning. And afterwards, he came out of the room like 3 hours later. Sometimes we were like, so okay, where's our son? And he's still in that room. And at one point, I went in there and said, you need to open a window because
does it smell like plastic glue?
Holy dude, yeah, that's plastic glue all over. So he's all into that, and it's amazing how he does not have a clue what Star Wars is or Lord of the Rings or anything. He doesn't have like a setup of how things are supposed to be in his head. He can see the world differently and interact differently. I feel like I have consumed too much stories and how things are supposed to be that I sometimes that I have lost this kid's point of view on the world. And he can make up things that I cannot anymore.
Like, what did he make up?
Because, for example, these wood lice.
Oh yeah.
So in this box from War Games Atlantic, they have a box that's large spiders. And in this box there, in the Goblin box, that you can build there's only one sprue in there, and the sprue is in there 5 times, I guess. And in each sprue there are 5 goblins. Does that add up? No, it's not. So there are 6 sprues. 6 sprues by 5 goblins, and 2 goblin. No, there are 3 goblins that are in one go. So the legs and the torso are in one piece. And then you have 2 goblins where the legs and the torsos are separate. And the stance is a bit weird because they're standing pretty wide.
Games Workshop stance.
Yes, exactly. But there's also a saddle in that box.
Wow.
So you can kind of I think there also there's a box of wolves, if I recall correctly, from War Games Atlantic, and you can place the goblins on that on the spiders or on the wolves using the saddle. And while he was building those things, he was like, "So what's this piece?" And I told him, and he really liked the idea of riding, of having someone ride.
Yeah.
And we have made rules for that in our game before. And he said, "Okay, I want this chap to be riding something." And I said, "Well, I have these spiders in the basement, but for whatever reason, I did not get into the basement straight away and get them."
Yeah.
So he was chewing on this idea, and at some point he said, we were listening to a kid's song about wood lice."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, how cool would it be if my goblins would be riding wood lice?" And I thought this is the most hilarious idea ever. And then he came up with the why the goblins would keep those wood lice, because why would they be giant? And then he came up with the idea that his goblins, that he had different goblin tribes, and one was living in a castle, but the others were living a nomadic life in the forest, and they always packed their tents on their wood lice to be carried around the forest and all that. And he's very good at making up stories, and he just kept on telling the story about this wood tribe, goblin tribes. Riding giant wood lices for hours. And so I was, okay, fine, you're getting wood lice. I'm sitting down right now and make you wood lice.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. That was really good.
And you tried to pretend you didn't do any hobby. Come on.
Yeah, well, I did spread the virus.
Spread the virus. Good way of explaining it to your kid. Well,
Yeah,
Simon, it's smart, because who else is going to inherit your hobby empire when you kick the bucket?
Yeah, and I did it even bigger because...
What's your other son doing while your oldest son's doing this stuff?
Well, he has models himself, but he's not so patiently sitting there. He likes to slap some paint on some miniatures and do what the big ones do, but he's not so much into it yet.
Yeah.
Wait,
which
but my
room
wife
is your son using as his hobby cave? Is it the room off the kitchen or one of the rooms upstairs?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's another reason why he uses that, because then he can sit down where everything's happening and enjoy that.
Cool.
And at my birthday in summer, I had my wife's nephews build some things, because Lenny, of course, told everyone that he's building those miniatures now as well.
Yeah.
And because I think he sometimes feels small compared to others.
Okay.
And doing miniature hobby makes him feel large.
Like
or
older,
adult.
you mean?
Yeah, older.
Yeah.
And so he told his cousins that he was doing this thing.
Are they older or younger than him?
Yeah, they're older.
Okay.
So he told them, and they were like, "Ooh, that sounds awesome." They like fantasy and all that as well.
Yeah.
And so he said, "Okay, I want to do that as well." No, they wanted to do that as well, and I let them build some knights and take those knights back home, and they were happy with that. And usually, I counter that kids, do something and then they leave it alone, like check the box and be like, "Okay, I've done that. Let's do something else." But they apparently came. We don't see them that often. But they apparently came back to their parents once so often, and that was in the summer that they built those knights.
Yeah.
And when Christmas was around the corner, their parents were like, "Okay, so the kids are still talking about this miniature stuff that they did with you.
This plague that you infected them with."
Exactly. Could you possibly assemble some things that they would need for Christmas?" And that's what I did, and that's really interesting process.
And you were like, "Let me introduce you to my good friends at PK Pro."
I did the shopping. I bought all the stuff.
Yeah.
And that was interesting because have you ever tried to think back when you started with a hobby and you had nothing? And there was just so much money you were able to spend on things. What would you buy? Because I have so many tools and so many different glues, and all those things are at my disposal. But when you have nothing, where would you start?
Yeah.
And how much would you put into the hands of a kid? For example, would you give it a knife, a hobby knife, or would there be a way around it? Or
Yeah.
That was interesting. So if you're wondering what I did, here's what I did. I didn't give them a knife because they're happy to just assemble things.
Yeah.
So what you need to assemble a kit is you need a a file. Is that a file?
File? Yeah, yeah. You don't need a file. Oh wait, if you don't have a knife, you need a file. Yeah, okay, good point.
Well, no,
Yeah.
you need something to clip it out, something to get it out with. Yeah.
Exactly. You need a clipper to get it out, and best is you get a proper clipper because you can like one not from the dollar store, but with
God
a
hand. Give them some God hands. I'm sure they're worth it.
whatever that is.
Oh, you don't
they
know
need
God
to have-
hand? I failed you.
Oh, apparently, Redgrass Games, they are nearly identical to God Hand and a bit cheaper if you're not in Japan. If you're in Japan, God Hand there's actually another brand very similar as well, which is basically identical but cheaper.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. So
Cool.
long story short, clippers, plastic glue, and here comes the take. Give them some good, old, easy to assemble kits. Don't start with GW.
No.
They will, if you feel intimidated by those, you need to find,
Numbers
section
46 and 39.
Yeah, and here are seven sprues, and you on each sprue you have to find this one piece, and it's annoying as shit. And no,
Roger, are you
do it
speaking
the
from
easy
your
way.
current experience of assembling Gene Stealers?
Yes, and also with my experience with assembling stuff with kids at
Yeah.
my hobby club
Yeah.
in school.
Yep.
I I thought storm cars are easy. Just glue together some storm cars, and it was a pain in the ass.
Yep.
Yeah. So what I gave them some Frostgrave boxes because it's very easy to go together.
Yep.
You have the torso, and then you have a variety of heads, which you can choose from, because choosing things is very important. It makes you feel empowered
Yep.
about the things that you're doing.
Yep.
And you can make up little stories while you choose the bits you use.
Yep.
And that's a thing that my kids love, and those other kids loved it as well. They were like, "Oh yeah, look here, this is."
You mean your nephews?
He does this.
Your kids' cousins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was great.
Wait,
So
I
they
want to unpack
got
something you just said. You were saying that you gave them Frostgrave miniatures because they got to choose what they use, and that's really important. And you didn't want to give them Games Workshop models because it was like, here's the rules for how it goes together. That to me feels like a microcosm of like, oh, dude, you're not even on your camera. No, I'm trying to get you on the camera, but you're like off the edge. It feels like a microcosm of like converting and sculpting. That it's like you feel empowered when you get to make choices in your hobby, and when you assemble things, like I guess Games Workshop, whatever, you make choices on paint scheme. Like that's the main way they tell you to customize your miniatures. But yeah, when you're converting miniatures, kit bashing, sculpting, you get to make those choices, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you want to, if you introduce someone who's new to this, you want to have the maximum effect and the least frustration as possible,
Yeah.
right? Because otherwise they will turn down and be like, okay, I'm going back to my PlayStation or my PC or my smartphone, and I will be playing there and get my dopamine there.
Yeah.
But they were hooked, and the boys, the two boys. So there were 3 kids. The girl was not interested in that, but the boys were really into that.
Yeah.
And they got that building kit for Christmas, and 2 days later, I got a picture from the mother sent me, and she said, "Okay, I guess we need more because they are already done."
And then she had to go buy it, and she's like, "What have you done to us?" Oh no, War Games Atlantic. She was probably like, "Oh, these are mildly expensive."
Yeah. So
Cool.
And
look at you spreading the virus.
And then the youngest one had its birthday on the 4th.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, they all built it, and now they want to paint it. And now you need to find something so they can paint it.
And you're like, don't worry, I have 1,000 paints. I'll just give you mine.
That's the birthday present. No. I went for the speed paints from Army Painter.
Yeah.
And they are terrific for in affordability.
I have one that I got to try out. I haven't tried it yet. Thought it would work for my like Tyranids skin. It's kind of like their copy of plague bear flesh or whatever. So we'll see.
Oh, okay, yeah. I found.
Sorry, Flynn. We're supposed to be doing your quiz, and we're totally off the track. What's going on?
No, I was just gonna say with the Army Painter speed paints, I've got the metallic ones.
Yeah.
And I think it's a misnomer of what they call the metallic ones speed paints because they don't really act like a speed paint, giving like the depth. It's more just like it's an easy coverage paint. But
it's like a like the foundation paints back in the day, the Games Workshop.
Yeah, it's like that, but it's the consistency of like a contrast speed paint.
Yeah.
But it's got the more of a blanket coverage, so it doesn't give the whole depth in one go that you'd expect from a speed paint, like giving the highlight and the shading.
Well, I'd say that new Games Workshop contrast paints don't do that as well as the old ones. They feel like they're what you're describing, like coverage. Like I use the new ones, and it's like this is a good way to cover a model with a color and like have like suggestions a little bit of like where the shadows should be and where the highlights should be. But the old ones I felt like gave more variance.
Yeah, what I've seen like Eons of Battle, he did a video about like the different types of contrast paints. He was going like the brighter contrast paints are more tints than they actually have like the highlight and the shading. The ones that are closer to being black in the pot or appearing black in the pot are the ones that actually give the better coverage of like the highlighting and the shading.
Yeah.
Which I can see when I use them. So potentially it's like that.
Okay, let me finish that story quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we had these 2 kids. I think one is 8 and the other is 10. So the 2 boys are having their fun with their paints and building all that stuff. And then their older nephew came by for the birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this picture of the grandfather of the boys and their older nephew. So an 80-year-old dude and the 17-year-old dude having each of them having a sprue in their hand and studying that for felt 20 minutes and philosophizing about how things are supposed to go together and all that. That was because their grandfather is not very into any fantasy, science fiction, anything. Like he's a very pragmatic person and all that.
Yeah.
And seeing them suddenly, that was a great view. So I went back home, and the next day that the other Simon, that's what the other boy is called. So the 17-year-old,
Yep.
because he's also Simon.
Yep.
He's also called Simon. He writes me and says, "Well, I have once gotten. He saw those miniatures at my place and wanted something for Christmas as well, and his parents got him I think a Dungeons and Dragons painter starter set,
Mhm.
but with acrylic paints
Yeah.
and like the stuff we use."
Yeah.
And he said, so I saw those boys painting, and I went home and I got my box out and I started painting the thing that I had, and it was horrible. It looked shit. What did I do wrong? And I said, you did nothing wrong. It's just the
It's
wrong
the
paint
different
that you
paints.
have. It
Right.
looks different. It works different nowadays. And
Yeah.
then he said, okay, so what do I need to buy?
Oh no!
Yeah, and so he went on a shopping spree, and 2 days later, I received a picture of him being like, "Oh yeah, this is my first finished miniature," and I was like, "Yeah,
The virus
okay,
spreads.
this virus is spread heavily amongst this family."
Look at you.
Yeah. But it was also, he had the right reaction, because he could have easily gone, this painting's terrible, I can't do this, and just thrown it away. I'm not doing it. He came to you going like, okay, why hasn't it worked? And found out the reason, was like, oh, okay, it's not me. And then we're able to go and fix the issue, which is that's the best way of looking at it. He actually had the grown upness to go, is it me, or what's going on?
Well, maybe kids are smarter than us because they have the internet.
Oh
And we would have
Jesus!
been at their
For fuck's
age.
sake, no, because if you want to start the hobby, the internet is the worst place you can go.
Yeah. I mean,
Because I thought, okay, the other Simon, he's old. I can surely find some videos on YouTube that tell him how things work, so I can save time and have not explained him everything. On a messenger.
Yeah.
If I'm standing next to someone, explaining is easy, but if someone is so I did this, and 2 hours later I see the message, and that's frustrating. And I thought, okay, I will just search some how-to videos on YouTube, but there is no appropriate way, no appropriate video for true beginners. It's always expected that you already know your way around a bit.
Yeah. Wait, is
and
this the
already
Heads of
know-
Hydra videos that we were supposed to do together that I never finished?
Yes.
Shit.
I was
You've already
looking
made
for
them.
them. I thought, well, I have done videos like that. Where did I put them? And I couldn't find them.
You put them in the hands of your friend who failed you.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Yeah, but for example, when you for the very first time you have plastic glue and a plastic miniature in your hand, and you are wondering why the fuck this thing doesn't stick together.
Yeah.
But no one told you that you have to make sure the surface where the glue comes together has to be flat, and you have to see that the little nook from the frame is filed away or cut away, so that the surfaces are flat onto each other, and that only then the glue will work. Otherwise, you will always have the small pimple in between where things will snap off. If you don't know this very simple fact, then gluing is a nightmare. If you don't know that plastic glue is melting the plastic, and simply applying more plastic glue doesn't help you, then you are screwed as well, because glue, more glue, even more glue, and stuff like that. And that's not explained anywhere. Like, people are explaining on the internet how you're doing, how to paint your Warhams in a certain way, or how I did my first paint job. And then you look at it and be like, no, this looks horrible. I don't want this. Or there's one from one of the famous internet tabletop dudes,
Yeah.
old elderly man with a white beard who likes to rip off undead games from other people. He has this video like what I would have loved to know when I started tabletop. And
Yeah.
the first thing he does is he talks about the difference of 3D printed miniatures and not 3D printed miniatures. And he explains what an STL is. And I think, what the fuck, dude? The title of your video is what you need to know when you want to start tabletop, and you start with the most, niche thing.
Yeah, niche.
Because it's I was really annoyed by all that.
Well, you gotta start
You
your own
can totally
YouTube channel.
tell.
Stop relying on me to get your videos out there.
Sorry?
I said, I guess you gotta start your own YouTube channel.
Yeah, probably.
With all the time you have.
Exactly.
The next time that class goes on a trip and you're down hidden in the basement. Oh, damn, we didn't do the thing. I'm totally out of sorts. So, speaking of basements, this stream comes to everyone live from a room in Rick Priestley's house, his palatial mansion. If you watch the intro, it says we're coming to you live from the basement, but we try to move around the house because we don't want Rick to find out we're down here, in here, anywhere around here. So, Simon, what part of Rick Priestley's palatial mansion are we coming to everyone live from this week?
As I have just sculpted a zillion barnacles, we are coming from his little boat shed.
He's got a
Where you
boat
can
shed.
take-
Man, this guy's
got a
this guy's got
boathouse?
some money. Got a boathouse?
Yeah,
Amazing.
his palatial mansion has this little lake next to it.
Yes.
And of course, he has a little boat to drive around, and there's this shed where he can drive with his boat into, and this little crane where you can take the boat out of the water
awesome.
and
This is some deep lore right here.
and hack away the barnacles that have stuck to the little ship he uses.
Mm-hmm.
Who's got
There's
a boat
also
and a
rumor
dockyard.
in the neighborhood that there's a door to another dimension hidden down deep in that lake, but no one kind of testified. Some kids tried to find it, but they never came back.
And you say your son spends a lot of time creating lore for Word Lice? Glenn, what were you saying?
I was just saying, like, that Rick Priestley's now got a boathouse and a dockyard to clean the boat in as well.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Yeah. See, that was quick.
that's the Lord of the Rings money.
Wait, we got kind of off track. I don't know if we got kind of off track. I think we got largely off track. But we're on some kind of track, and I wanted to share holiday stuff. You guys said some holiday stuff.
Yes. How about your holiday stuff?
Yeah, I posted my holiday stuff on... I haven't posted on Instagram like at all lately. I feel weird about Instagram right now. But I posted some of my holiday stuff on Instagram. And my holiday stuff is not hobby that I did, but it's hobby that I paid someone else to do for me in the form of my Christmas gift that I gave to Nora. And I was very proud of this. Nora is obsessed with chickens and gnomes. So last Christmas, I'd already gotten her a Christmas present. I can't even remember what it was. But she was like, if you wanted to get me something for Christmas, you get me a gnome something. Like, I've already got your gift, man. And then I'm like, damn it, gnome, what am I going to do? So what I did is I reached out to a super talented artist who I know on Instagram named Luxanthor, who I know does gnome-y kind of stuff. And I asked Luxanthor if I could commission him to make a model for Nora that brought together her love of gnomes and chickens and gardening and all kinds of stuff like that. And this is what he came up with. It is a gnome riding a chicken. Like a little gnome soldier, knight dude on the back of a chicken. And the chicken's got all kinds of vegetables behind it. Like there's some broccoli there. I think there's a turnip. There's a sack. There's our little gnome man. and he's got like a spear with a carrot on it. He's got a magnolia on his hat because I told Luxanthor that was her favorite flower. Look at this guy.
Oh, nice.
Look at this awesome like facial hair he's got here. He's got like a little like he's got all kinds of little gribblies. Look at this the like straps on for the saddle on the chicken, and there's all kinds of like filigree on like the call, I don't know what that is, collar thing on the chicken. Yeah, like this guy, like Simon, I know my wife says that you're like one of the greatest miniature sculptors out there, but this guy's another level.
Shut up.
So I was extremely happy with this. Nora was, he's even, look at this, his backpack, he's got a little shield on his backpack. It's a walnut shell. So
that's so good.
I was so happy with how this came out. I was hoping Nora would be happy with how it came out. She was extremely happy with how it came out. She loved it to bits. So yeah, that was me winning Christmas this year. Although she did admirably. Yeah. She bought me the collector's edition of the Labyrinth, which I love. And it comes with like the glass, a kind of glass ball like David Bowie juggles in the Labyrinth. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share. So Flynn, can you pull up Luxanthor and slap the link in the chat?
Yeah. While I'm doing that, one thing I would potentially suggest you getting for Nora, is the Blood Bowl gnomes.
I know,
or even like,
right? I should get those for her.
Because there's even a what do you call it? Like that's out, but it's out of stock now. But it's like a one on the deer.
Oh, cool!
As well with a lot of little woodland creatures.
Nice. Yeah, this is so freaking. Talking about sculpting really small, and I can't even sculpt that small. Like this is next level stuff. Right?
This is so good. I just love the mustache.
The what?
And in this nutshell, the whole thing is amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty spectacular. Both Luxanthor and the miniature are pretty spectacular. Need to not.
Crypt Shadow does ask, is this sculpted by hand?
Yes, this is sculpted by hand. Completely.
No PC was involved in the creation of this piece.
What's that?
I said no PC was involved in the creation of this.
I mean, we pulled some concept ideas off the internet. That was about it.
Yeah, so no PC was used, no 3D sculpting or anything that was used.
Yes. And then the thing I'm working on here is my long-suffering giant Norn Emissary Lictor for my buddy Josh. I swear it's almost done. I think it's pretty much done. I think I just need to assemble it and like fill gaps and accept that it's complete. Because I think I'm just playing silly buggers now.
I have to accept the fact that it's done, yes.
You posted pictures of your gene stealers you're working on yet on Instagram? Because those are friggin' fantastic. You gave me a preview and people need to.
Yeah, no, I haven't. But yeah, I think they are done now.
Yeah.
You kind of teased them in your story today.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. But
so these are some nautical themed gene stealers, right?
Yeah, I just saw. Did you see the gene stealers and a bit of green stuff next to them as he's doing like a little pan video?
Ah, a little cheeky sneak peek.
Cheeky tease.
Also, I feel like we've been remiss in looking at the chat. So Jade Finch told us that it was 20 to noon. I think that was a while ago. So a few hours behind me. 7 miles from Volcano National Park. I'm not familiar with Volcano National Park, but that sounds beautiful. And Jade Finch said, I'm fixing up the room I rented and have space finally to set up my hobby things. Amazing. And then I think when we were talking about cleaning up your workspace equals hobby, Jade said, by that logic, painting a wall and doing carpentry is working on my hobby. Hey, I'll support it.
That's absolutely true. If it's your hobby room, that it absolutely fits. Yes.
Yeah, it's infrastructure work, like Simon was saying. Good to see Diana, our longtime viewing companion. Thank you for joining. And Electro Dust Bunny, hello, welcome. Tom Wilson is also here, saying this has reminded me of how much I like seeing pre-Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings artwork. What was that referring to? Oh, I think, Simon, when you're talking about your son and how he's not tainted by knowledge of different
Oh yes.
fandoms. I have a book. I have a book of Lord of the Rings artwork somewhere that was pre-Peter Jackson, and I didn't realize how valuable that probably is, because probably a lot of the artwork now is very influenced by the films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would be.
Tom Wilson says, it's been a long time since I've bought a new Games Workshop vehicle. Are they stupidly complicated to assemble too nowadays? I don't buy a lot of vehicles, but I will tell you that for a commission, I got a what the heck's the new Dreadnought called? Redemptor? Is that right? Like the old new, when they redid the Dreadnought for the Primaris, was it Redemptor?
Yeah, you've got the Redemptor is the class of Dreadnought now, because then you've got like the different variations.
Okay, I'm
to
just
it, but
talking about the first one that has the
main one.
plasma cannon.
Yeah, that's Redemptor.
Okay, so I got a Redemptor. I was doing it for my buddy Josh, and I really enjoyed assembling it. Like, there was a lot of thought put into it, and there was like the hatch can like open and stuff like that, like after you assemble it, and stuff like swivels on it. It was very well done. And like even the pose, like they have these pegs, positioning pegs to lock it in the pose that you should use on the box, but it's very easy to cut off those pegs and repose it. So I actually like enjoyed the assembly process, and I think I posted saying, like, if you're bored and you've thought about maybe buying a Redemptor, it's a joy to assemble. I found it a lot of fun. It felt like Lego.
It's they did make quite a lot of. The Redemptor is like a very straightforward, simple kit. They had the easy to build version, which doesn't have the opening flat and is just a squat.
Yeah, this was not the easy to build. This is the full kit.
But the full kit is still really good, and it's actually really easy to take the arms off and change them over. Even better than the old Dreadnought, the box Nort or Castafarian,
you know
where
what?
it's just like on a peg.
Speaking of like Dreadnoughts and not buying one in a while, I was in my friendly local hobby shop. Shout out Wheels of Wings on the Danforth. It's amazing. They had one of the old box Dreadnoughts in the display case. And I went and I looked at it and I laughed. I'm like, were they really ever that small? Like, it's so cute. I still love the box Dreadnoughts because that was like my first. But they're so small. Oh. Like, they're crazy small.
At one point, the Carnifex was the biggest model Games Workshop produced.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, the plastic or the pewter?
I know it wasn't the plastic because that will give away for the quiz.
Oh,
but
speaking of which, let's get right to that quiz. But Hydra.
But I think that's
go ahead.
Screamer Killer one and the metal one.
Wow, cool. I thought surely the pewter Dreadnoughts were big. Diana says it helps to have someone to reach out to. Simon, I think that was in reference to your family member who was reaching out to you for hobby advice.
Yeah.
Oh, but maybe not, because Diana says woodlice deserve lore. They're awesome. But I think that was earlier. Electro Dust Bunny, you make a lot of beams. I have not seen the one you're referring to yet. Radon.
You should look at that one, Nick. I think I know which one he's referring to, because he's now only doing one a day. It's actually a pretty good one.
That's why I can't keep up. Radon, love the chicken. The chicken loves you too, Radon. I think Diana says that's amazing. I think that's about the chicken. Crypt Show, yes, we went over that. Sculpted by hand. Thank you, Flynn Hammer, for putting the link to Luxanthor in the chat. Definitely go check out Luxanthor's work. He has many miniatures that you can buy that he's made himself. He did like a Napoleon. That was the one that inspired me to ask for the gnome. It's like a Napoleon riding a pig, or he looks like Napoleon. He's not Napoleon, but he's like a gnome elf or gnome goblin kind of scale thing. Yeah. Tom says I'd also suggest the Tyne Fielding for some future gnomes. Yet I've seen some Tyne Fielding stuff. And Diana, I missed the initial reference to woodlice lore. Oh, there we go.
I think I know which meme that Dust Bunny is referring to.
Okay. Let's do the quiz thing. I gotta run upstairs, but Simon, are you ready to take this quiz?
No, but I will never be.
Okay. Flynn, do you have any visuals to go with it?
No, I don't have any visuals because it's the whole screen sharing.
I need to. I'll be back in 10 minutes something. Need to have the wife.
Okay. Yeah, that's a problem because I was also going to plan to go away for 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes. I was planning to go upstairs. Because I've kind of like exhausted my green stuff, and I'm in that weird place where I don't want to mix up more green.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're trying to go for the freezer green stuff.
I have freezer green stuff, but I don't know if I want to bust out the freezer green stuff at this moment. Let me quickly look around for what things that are hobby related. Paint.
Yeah. Oh, just wait to do that. I got a micro art studio, like Tyrannid Terrain Hive Devourer thing, which they don't produce anymore.
Oh, nice.
And I've put together they've got like little teeth that go into this like more thing. Like it's like a spore chimney, but it's not a spore chimney. But it's like one. But it's got like little teeth that you go into it, but they don't actually fit properly. There's a massive gap around them once they've glued in.
Is it a small
And,
alien hill?
trying
to look up things.
If you
look like a Sarlacc?
If you look for Hive Devourer is what it's called, well, what it was called. But it's got like it's like you know the Spore Devourer's got it's the 3 towers that point in towards the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is like that, but it's actually like 3 like carapace bits.
Hold on,
got
I've got
3.
it. I've got it.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up here. Browser, there we go.
Yeah.
Where the heck? Oh, it's not high enough. Oop.
Yeah, but
there we go.
Got that, and I've put the teeth.
It looks kind of interesting from above. There's a picture here from above, and I think it looks pretty cool.
I put the teeth into it, and it's just like, okay, and so these just will fall out at the next easy opportunity.
What do you mean?
They've not got very much contact point, the teeth bit, to the actual foam, because it's basically made out of really hard polystyrene. They call it hard foam resin and HDF together. And it's just, I can feel they're going to fall apart. Like if you give it quite a bit of a knock, they will fall out.
Can you glue them in?
I've glued them in. That's the thing. That there's not much contact, so I'm going around using Milliput to give it a bit more of a connection and keep it in place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a pain for that. I've noticed that sometimes, like while people got like some models, their prices, like for example, Games Workshop, they price a lot higher.
Yeah.
Than others. It's like if you look at like the amount, like Simon just said, like War Games Atlantic, you got 6 of the same sprue in there.
Yeah.
Games Workshop, you might only get the same sprue twice sometimes, depending on what you're buying.
Yeah.
But you've got quite a lot of variety. But also their quality control is a lot better because some of the trolls that I've built. One set I've got had, not from Games Workshop, but from another manufacturer, really bad mold slip.
Yeah.
And that got through like product quality assurance.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if it was actually because I got it on an eBay bid from the actual company that sells it, but they started it as like a 99p bidding up. So I don't know if they didn't really label it as like a whole. This is like a not a good quality print or cast, but there was like air bubbles and stuff in the kits. I've had to fill those in.
Oh dang!
And just had
Wait,
to
Flinhammer, one question. So you're telling me that you had to assemble it? You had to put the teeth in?
Yeah.
Did you put the teeth in the right way? Because the pictures we have them in the wrong way.
What do you mean you've got them in the wrong way?
They're curving. Okay, so it's like a design decision, but the teeth are curving upwards instead of curving
so I'm doing it
downwards. And if it was a mouth, if you picture like anything with fangs, any fangs curve inwards, right? So that the thing, like if it's trying to eat someone, they can't escape because you know what I mean? It's
I know it's digging into it, but I've just dealt with it, done it the exact way they're posted, because it's
I
because if you
understand.
look at Tyranid spore chimneys and capillary towers, they have those go the exact same way where
They
they
do.
go
Okay.
up.
Whoops. Okay. Well, they have a
So
spore chimney and it's not good.
yeah,
It's
but
like it looks like something I might have seen High Fleet Hyper post, but let's not get into that.
no
Forge
necking on
World.
Hyper. Hyper
You're
stuff's fun.
Simon missed that. He would have liked that.
Yeah,
Pill. He wouldn't know what we're talking about. Tower.
yeah.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they curve up. Not well,
Yeah.
but it's different, right? Like these. I don't know.
This looks more like a mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that you bought looks more like a mouth. Like the sport chimney does not look like a mouth.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're saying that, but I'm tempted to try and pull them out. But to be honest, looking at that, they've actually done a good bit of a connection point into it. I just don't like the massive gaps that are surrounding the teeth where they're meant
That's
to be.
weird, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just get some no more nails and just like slop it in there and fill those gaps.
Well, I try to use a gel super glue. So normally that
It's
squeezes
foam.
out.
Is it
but
foam? Doesn't the super glue eat it? Or no, it's fine.
Nice. Yeah, it's a. Don't know what they've sort of used because it's a I think it's a resin type. It's just a. Yep, it's not been eaten by the super glue at all. It's just actually made a bond to it. Because the teeth are actually proper resin, but the actual like main body of it, it's like a foam sort of thing. So yeah.
Chat, what have you been up to? What kind of hobbies you been working on? You done any hobby stuff over the holiday? Let us know. Just gonna go check the chat. Radon says I'm going to remake that maw, so I think that's referring to the Micro Art Studio. I actually had the same thought, Radon, that that's a cool concept. I think I could do it better. So I'd like to see you do it. Because I've seen some of your work on Tyranids and sculpting, and it was really good. Blitz, hello Blitz, welcome. Just came back from axe throwing. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. Very Canadian.
Fun fact. One of the first things that Nora and I ever kind of did together before we started dating, when we were like interested in each other, was axe throwing. We did it in like a group with a bunch of other people, but I still have a picture of Nora. I don't know how other people do axe throwing, but I think it started in Toronto, or no, it started in like lumberjack games. Like it's something that they did for a while, but we had this thing in Toronto around 2013, 2014 start called Battle, like Backyard Axe Throwing League or something. And when you're throwing axes, like you're competing 1-to-1, and if you're tied on score, the tiebreaker is that you have to throw the big axe. So when you're throwing axes, you're throwing hatchets. Like they're like maybe, I don't know, 10 or 12 inches long, something like that. They're hatchets, easier to throw. You overhead throw them, whatever. But if you need to break a tie, you have to throw the fireman's axe, which is like 4 feet long. So I've got this awesome picture of Nora with this fireman's axe, and it's one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken of Nora. This big ass axe. So that's good times. I love axe throwing. There's like a big thing in like the 2013s, 2014s, 2015s. I don't know if it's as big now.
Oh no, we still get it here. We've got like places set up now for it.
Oh, cool.
Do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Diana says with the teeth pointing upwards, any impaled prey would have to be lifted off. That's and then Radon says, I have fallen and bought a 40k lion to make an AU version. I'm assuming that means alternate universe. I'm assuming he means like Lionel Johnson.
Yeah, hang on. So he's made a fallen joke there about the Dark Angels, half of them being fallen. He's bought Lionel Johnson.
Are you sure that's what he meant? That's a good joke.
Well, that's what I'm taking it being an AU version or alternative universe version where he has turned to chaos.
That's a good joke.
So that'd be good. Because I see, if you see Pete the Wargamer, he does a lot of those, like the Dornian heresy conversions things. So someone wrote a fan fiction of what happens if it was Dorn betrayed the heresy instead.
Interesting.
and who would have fallen to what Chaos God, etc., and what would have happened. And so that's where that one's based off. So
I'm just going rogue now because one of the points of this was to get Simon to do the quiz, and now Simon's gone.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna like riff on other things that I did over the holiday. One of those was I went to see a film with Nora.
Oh, what film?
Because Nora and I share a love for creepy creatures and horror. And we went to see the new Robert Eggers film, Nosferatu. I
Is
will
it
not
good?
spoil stuff. What, Flynn? What's that?
Is it good? Because I've been
Excellent.
wanting to watch
It
it.
is
I might watch
excellent.
it.
It is filmmaking that people don't do anymore. I'm into film, and well, I'm into movies. I don't know if I'm into film. I feel like I don't own enough berets to say that I'm into film, but like low on berets, I'm into I love movies, and I like Denis Villeneuve's. We were talking before about Arrival and like how freaking amazing that is, how much I love it, and then I really like him as a director. Villeneuve. I'm also into Christopher Nolan because apparently I'm a basic white boy. But I was kind of like, I was aware of Robert Eggers. Like I'd seen, let me see first. There's The Witch, there's The Lighthouse. There's another one in there I'm forgetting. Damn it. I think that's the one I saw. Anyway, he's done like 4 other, oh, The Northman. Yeah, I think I saw The Lighthouse first, and then I went back and watched The Witch with Nora. And then we watched The Northman, which is with Alexander Skarsgård. And he's got a very unique style of filmmaking. He makes a lot of like very like thematically and like practically dark films.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Witch is about a witch in like, I think it's New England or something, like early United States. And then oh, got wrong. And then The Northman is about a Viking. It's like this Viking myth about a character called a Viking named Amleth, who has to avenge the murder of his father. The Lighthouse is one of his weirdest movies. It's just 2 characters in it, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and they just like working this lighthouse, and it's all shot in black and white, and it's shot in like the old like kind of square format that films used to be shot in. And that thing is like vaguely Cthulhu, kind of Lovecrafty, and there's some weird stuff going on with the lighthouse, but it's amazing. But I would say that Nosferatu might be more accessible than some of his other films, although The Witch is pretty accessible. But he takes such care in how he makes films and like how he shoots them and like the light and the shadow and all this kind of stuff. And I loved it, and we finished it, and like one of the final scenes in the movie is a pretty gross, like not really violent, but kind of gross scene. And that scene wraps and the movie ends, and Nora turns to me and she's just like, "That was wonderful." And I'm like, "You mean the gross scene we just watched?" She's like, "No, the movie was wonderful." But it's amazing. It's worth seeing. And I'm really excited to see other, like his next film, like other stuff from him, because every one of his films that I've watched, like The Witch is kind of slow, but it's very creepy. It's a horror, definitely. Lighthouse is the Lighthouse is the weirdest one. That's probably the hardest one to watch, but it's definitely rewarding and definitely worth it. Northman is easier to watch because it's kind of like a dark fantasy Viking thing, and there's some cool shit in there. Like there's this one scene where there's a bunch of Vikings invade this village, and it's the whole battle is one shot. Like you start from behind the Vikings in a field and you like follow them as they like run to the battlements, and you watch Alexander Skarsgård scale a wall, kill some guys on top, jump down, and then run through the village pillaging people. It's so cool. Yeah, and then like Nosferatu, really great actors in it. Willem Dafoe's in it. I loved his character. Bill Skarsgård plays the vampire Nosferatu. I really like how they handled that too. It was just really good. I really, really liked it. I highly recommend it. Have you seen any of those other films, Flynn?
So Northman, no, but I've heard about it. The Witch, I don't think so. But let me just have a double
It's got a
check
black goat in it. There's a part at the very end where it's got Anya Taylor-Joy. She's like the main character.
Nope,
I
not
hate
seen
Anya
it.
Taylor-Joy, but I saw it before I got tired of seeing her in films.
I haven't seen it. It's not many. It's depending on sometimes on a runtime for a film. It really can affect if I will watch it or not.
Well, The
Not
Witch is
because of
very
how good the
slow.
film
I would
is.
tell you it's worth
Yeah.
it, but it's very slow. And if you don't like long, slow movies, it might be tough to get through.
Yeah, it's the attention bit I need to keep. If I can get hooked into it, I can focus on it. It's just if it doesn't hook me, it's going to be a slog to watch. Sometimes I break a film up into parts to watch it.
Yeah.
Just so I can.
Well, that's a good idea.
Watch it. Yeah. That's why I like Indiana Jones. Like every 10 minutes is like a little cliffhanger, so you can actually go away and come back.
So Tom Wilson said over the holidays he was cleaning some models that he got from Ramshackle. Tom, are those the same models that we got when we went? I have to admit I haven't done anything with my interesting, cool dude I got from Ramshackle, but I need to. Dianus is coming up with designs to try pyrography. What? Pyrography? Sounds like fire photography or something. Pyrography, also known as wood burning. Cool. Is the art of creating designs on wood or other materials using a heated tool to burn marks into the surface.
Oh, the electricity ones, they're the cool ones.
I want to see that. Diana, I want to see your work when you get into that. Tom, we're a few years behind the Americans, though. Flynn, what is...
That's the axe throwing. We've still got it here.
Oh,
stuff.
axe throwing. Okay, gotcha.
Like we've
Americans,
got like loads.
Easy, Tom. I think that's started in Canada.
But yeah, for us, like something to come over from Canada, kind of has to go to the States first, so then come over to. Like we've got a lot of these different places here in the UK. So we've got like places that do darts and like little different darts, the games you can play at them, like golf ones where it's you hit the ball, but it's not. It's like virtual driving ranges and stuff like that.
I think I've heard of those. Yeah.
We've even got like cricket ones.
Oh.
So people could do cricket. So it's like you've got batting cages, which there was one outdoor batting cage in the UK which closed down because of which is literally just like just under 2 miles away from where I live, and it got basically shut down because the owners didn't take care of it, didn't maintain it. It annoyed so many people because it was the only one in the UK. And now you've got other places that have like set up like these small little batting cages where it's like you're dealing with what they're doing for it, but at least we've got some of them now. But
yeah,
so getting that stuff, but I was just say like we are far behind other places.
Okay. I'm just going to go through the rest of the chat. Radon says that the joke about the Fallen, it was not planned, but I think that was a good joke.
Yeah.
Tom Wilson says that's because it's not a joke, Radon. It's the truth. And then when Radon said AU, and I got the reference for alternate universe, Diana thought she meant it was Aussie. So it's like an Aussie version of the lion fighting alligators or something. I don't know.
Have you heard of the guy who's done an Australian orc army?
Oh, like weird hats and Bowie knives or something?
So I think it's for Age of Sigmar, or it's for Fantasy, I can't remember. But he's also done a giant, as an Australian cricketer from like the 80s, 90s.
Cool.
It's brilliant to look at.
Lynn, how quickly can you run through that quiz? Because I'm realizing it's getting late for you guys. I don't know where Hydra is.
How quickly do you need me to go? Because I can do it as a lightning round if we need to.
Well, I think we might have to do it as a lightning round if he manages to
lightning round it is!
If Hydra manages to come back, I think we'll have to do it as a lightning round.
Yeah, we're going to have to skip the year part of it there. Well, I'll tell the answer of the year, but I'm not going to ask for the year. It's just going to be the model or one of a set of models.
But going through the chat, oh yeah, AU, Diana. I didn't actually think this when Radon said AU version, but because I've become a space nerd, apparently, I think of AU as astronomical unit, which is the distance from the Earth to the sun. And if you ever want to, like, if you're overly worried about your life and you care too much about what other people think and the decisions you make in your life, I think you just need to go and look up. Now that you know what an AU is, I think you need to go and look up the distance from Earth to the edge of the solar system, called the heliopause, and see how many AU that is. And it is the best way to feel insignificant and nothing. And I find that reassuring. I know other people might not find that reassuring. They might be like, what's the point of my life? We're so small in like this vast universe. But I kind of love it. I'm like, hey, we're so small, we can do whatever the hell we want. We don't have to get everything perfect. We don't have to get everything right because we are tiny. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Anyway, that's my rant about AU. They were talking about, it was something about going to the Oort cloud, which is like this circle of matter that surrounds our universe. No, our solar system, that's the word I'm looking for, thank you. But the Oort cloud is just so crazy far from Earth that kind of unbelievable. Anyway, that's a random departure, but I was reading a book called God, what is it called? In Ascension. A while back I was talking about reading some science fiction books. I think I was reading Starfish by Peter Watts, which was very good. Slow burn, but very good. And then after Starfish by Peter Watts, I read In Ascension. And I midway through the book, I was like, where's this going? I don't know if this is going to be good. I don't know if I'm going to like this. But it's weird. It's very weird, but it's very good. And in this book, they travel to the Oort cloud, like space travel to the Oort cloud, and then I had to look up how far the Oort cloud is from Earth, and I was just blown away by how big space is and how like it's impossible to hold it in your brain. That's a random departure. This book's pretty good if you want it. I got it from the library.
I've got a question from Blitz. He's got a question for me of how far away are we from, or how close are we to the Eldar pre-order?
You have any idea? They haven't said, have they?
I have an indication. So,
do you think they're going to be coming out in Eldaruary? What do people do? There's like a November for February, I think.
I don't know, but what I've seen. So, typically, what happens with Games Workshop is they will have the commemorative coin for each month is somehow related.
No, they're
to
usually
the month
late.
comes
They've been
out.
screwing them up lately.
You say that, but not really. They are actually related. So this month they announced the new Golden Demon stuff about the changes happening to it. And what's the coin for this month? It's Golden Demon coin. Now,
Okay, I think you're like connecting dots that they didn't connect, but sure, okay.
so this is the reason why. Every so often, for some reason, some people get their hands on the coins early. One of the coins that someone got their hands on early a few months ago, or should I actually say over 6 months ago, 6 to 8 months ago, was a Golden Demon coin. Amongst that was also a coin for one of the mortal war realms of Age of Sigmar of Giran, an Astra Militarum coin, which is Imperial Guard, and they also had, I'm just bringing it up now because I saved it on my phone, those coins. And that some of them. There's other ones they had, but they came out pretty quickly. They were the Ashqui coin and the Azir coin. Now the Azir coin was out ages ago before that. The Astra Militarum, so the card, they've just got their pre-order today,
Okay.
which will be out in 2 weeks' time on the 25th. So they actually be in shops and everything 25th.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's going to be the coin for February. And with the Eldar pre-order saying they are going to be early in quarter one, the next coin I think they would be is March that the coin will come out. So if the Astra Militarum coin is not going to happen, I think then there's either two bits. The Eldar are going to get announced like either tomorrow for 2 weeks' time they'll be in
no,
stores?
No, they won't. They won't do an Eldar release right after an Imperial Guard release.
That's when I think they may be later on in February. They will go on to pre-order to be available early March, to be able to be bought in store early March to go along with a coin to go with them.
Oh,
'Cause they did have a
Crypt
coin
Shadow says
before.
they announced Guard and Eldar first books of the year. And
Yeah.
since the Guard box is coming out, Crypt Shadow is expecting if they have an Eldar box set, then next month. And then a few months later. I guess that's for a few months later is for the stuff that's box locked. I don't know.
So, yeah, so when they're doing box lock stuff right now, they're also sort of. Well, no, I'm thinking box lock for the old world is different, yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously 40K is
Okay.
different of the old world release, but I think
So
that's why it's either going to be Feb or March for the Elder, but it'd be early on because of the coin.
Tom Wilson gave us an interesting factoid. He said the original Nosferatu was supposed to have all its copies destroyed because it plagiarized Dracula. And the writer's wife, so Bram Stoker's wife, sued. Luckily, a few copies survived. So that's interesting because I learned recently, like, because when Nosferatu came out, there's all these stories about everything. Like, everyone wants to make clicks off Nosferatu. And there was this one story about how if you love Nosferatu and you love Dracula, you should read a story called Camilla. What? No, I think I'm spelling it right. Wrong. Carmilla. So, blah, 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 blah. Oh, this is a cool. Let's go with that one. So, I didn't even know about this story. So, this is apparently the what people identify as like the prototypical vampire story, and it's actually a sapphic story. So, it's a story of like these two friends, I think, and then they like one of them is a vampire and the other one doesn't realize it, and she's like feeding on the other one in the night and all this stuff. Apparently, this preceded Dracula, and I can't remember if Bram Stoker said that this inspired him or people just inferred that Bram Stoker probably read this story and was inspired. I don't think it's a novel. I think it's like a short story or something, or maybe a novella. Yeah, so theoretically, this inspired Dracula. So it would be a bit rich if Bram Stoker's wife sued whoever. Well, okay, so I guess Nosferatu was written before it was produced as a film. Tom, do you mean that the copies of Nosferatu, the film, were supposed to be destroyed, or that there was a book that it was based on? Because I'm not. Guess I should just. But yeah. So this was the one that came out first, then Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then Nosferatu followed that. And in the new film by Robert Eggers, Nosferatu, it cites that the story is based on both Nosferatu, I think the film, and Dracula, Bram Stoker's novel.
Oh yeah, Tom says the film.
Oh, it says, oh yeah, Nosferatu is produced by Prana Film and is an unauthorized adaptation of Bram Stoker's 1897. Apparently it was a German film?
Not know that.
I don't know.
So while we're still waiting for Simon,
Yeah.
what do you think of the new store anniversary 40K model for this year?
Oh, good one. One sec. Good one. What's it called? Bioscience Terminated?
Bioscience Terminated. Because we're not going to talk about the Age of Sigmar one because it's a
Who
Storm
cares?
cards winner.
And it's not good. Sometimes they make good ones. This one, not good. Like, for example, Age of Sigmar, the models they made for Warhammer Plus this year for Age of Sigmar are like that team of like Cities of Sigmar people, right?
Wait.
Dude, I'm back.
Oh, you're
Hey,
back, Simon.
Yes.
Have you seen the anniversary model for Games Workshop for this store anniversary model for Games Workshop for this year?
The Gene Stealer.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
Underwhelming.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's a Gene Stealer. I like him. He has the old back.
Dude, the back I've been waiting for years.
Yeah. And they kind of announced, they kind of teased, like, is it in a new Kill Team box? Is it for a new Space Hulk thing?
Did they? I thought they just teased Space Hulk. I didn't know they teased.
Oh no, I know what you mean. I know what Simon's saying. It's the base is done.
Sorry,
in the
you
same
know
way
what
that
Simon's saying?
The base is done in the same way as all
Are
the
you
Kill
trying to say
Teams,
you
so
know what Simon says?
But I get what you mean. Is like,
That's
is
right.
it the base? How the base is done is like the Kill Team bases they're doing,
Oh,
or
you're
because
right.
it's painted as a red Terminator, like a Blood Angel, are they teasing a new edition of Space Hulk instead?
I
and
called Space Hulk. When I
said
saw
that
this, I'm like,
in the
Space Hulk's
article,
coming.
in
What?
the article, it
Yeah.
says that there's something in the background. So could this possibly mean that Kill Team, or is this more Space Hulk? Who knows? We are not giving away any information, but maybe you're intrigued, and it's a Gene Stealer.
Gene Stealers are among the most terrifying combatants in the galaxy, designed as perfect predators and dispatched in solar winds to find new planets to consume. It isn't uncommon for broods to be discovered festering inside Space Hulks. Biocide Exterminated is a compact diorama demonstrating the all-too-common grisly outcome. So, I didn't see Kill Team in there, but I saw Space Hulk, definitely.
So someone posted that, and I followed the link. I don't know if that's the only one, but
okay.
they were
Flynn does
talking
make a
about.
good point that they do this weird thing with Kill Team bases where they don't really put anything on them.
Well, I could swear that the article that I have read said something like, in the background there is fill in the name here of terrain piece, and that we have used in the past in Kill Team. So this could be a possible new Kill Team, or is it more?
Are you referring to the Warp Shadow post that I did? Because that's exactly what I wrote.
Oh shit! Did you write that?
Yeah, I did.
So you're referring to Flynn. Okay, here we go. It's probably the overall picture for it. Is that what you're talking about, Flynn?
Yeah, so the overall picture that they posted on Instagram and everywhere else, they have it like on the bottom, what be on the box as well for it, is like it's got like it looks like it's on a Space Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it using terrain from Gallo Dark? Is it its own terrain? Because it looks like it could be Gallo Dark, which was which was a whole long setting for Kill Team, where they were on a Space Hulk. So that's what I was saying for it.
Simon, I read an article that someone made where they said that maybe it's Flinthammer all along. It's Flinthammer all along.
It always was me.
News.
That is a Gallo Dark Space Hulky setting. Yeah, I don't know if we can draw much from that, but you got a point.
You know what? It might be the case that I'm kind of sick with Gene Stealers, as I have built 10 of them. And,
Okay.
I feel like this is enough for a good while, because as we talked about earlier, that getting those kids in line is, well, if you like puzzles, you're welcome.
Well,
but if you like to get things done, no, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, that
what are you
might
working
be
on there? Hydra, what are you working on right there?
Here.
Yeah.
It's a little surprise for someone who's probably not watching, so I can tell. I have met the creator of the game Altars of the Dead Gods.
Yeah.
And I, for fuck's sake, always forget his name. I think it's Afonso.
Okay.
And I met him on Spiel, or at Spiel. last year, and we talked about sculpting and all that, and he said, yeah, he likes my sculpting, and he would like to be better at sculpting, but he doesn't get around with green stuff, and he had tried mixing green stuff with milliput,
Yep.
but that caused some weird skin irritations.
Oh.
And so with green stuff, he doesn't have that, but with the milliput. And I said, well, you should try epoxy sculpt then, because that's what we are using. And he said, yeah, but I don't know where to get it. And I said, well, I'm going to send you some. And he said, no, you don't need to. And I said,
Good.
yes, give me your address and I will send you some. And
which is precious. That's pretty epic that you're sending him epoxy sculpt, because you can't get it as easily as we can.
yeah, but I still have,
Kingly
I think,
gift.
two large containers. And so, well, you can get it by now in
Just
Europe.
expensive, right?
But
Yeah.
It's just expensive.
yeah, it's not as cheap as in North America, I would say. If you compare it to the gram price for Magic Sculpt, for example, which is similar, it still might be more affordable. So I thought I will send him some, and then just sending some putty to Italy feels weird, and he has this this game of which I really like, where you play this gang of cultists, and it's Cthulhu-esque, and he said that I kind of have inspired him at some point to keep on working there and not, throwing it somewhere. Anyway, I feel like I should just send him a miniature along with that.
Nice.
And that just as a little surprise.
I love it. So what is the miniature? Or do you not want to spoil that?
Well, it's when I did my first solstice thing, I did something that kind of keeps ticking back in my mind at once in a while. It was this kind of bishop religious dude with a tall hat.
Yeah. And
he was cradling something in his mutated arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to kind of redo this.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where this is hopefully going.
Cool. Flinhammer, what do you think about Bioscience Terminated?
I love the fact that it's not a Imperial model.
Which I was very happy. Yeah, like the fact that they gave us a Tyranid limited edition model. Like, holy crap.
Yeah. It's like, I know we had the Tau one for 2024.
Yeah.
But in fact, it was a Tyranid, which was like a whole what the hell, or / Gene Stealer. So you've got it for Gene Stealer, Cults, or Tyranids.
Yeah.
It's brilliant pose. It is more like the Overkill Tyranids.
My fave.
The second ever limited edition Tyranid model, because I'm not counting the magazine Termagant, because that is easily widely available. The previous one was the 4th edition new Tyranid army box set you could buy with a Lictor that had different talons.
Yeah.
And so it's just like we don't get that treatment, so it's really good to see us getting that treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the whole, could this be a new Space Hulk coming with?
It's gonna be. I'm calling it. It's a new Space Hulk coming. Get ready.
Yeah. And also, if you look in the article, it also mentions about these. It has like a little asterisk, and at the bottom of the page it goes, "These models may be released again in the future."
It does? Oh my god, Flinhammer! Oh, scoop! Holy cow! That's a big deal.
Which, because they have done it. They have done it.
Wait. I think they're just covering their ass for if they want to do this sometime.
I know they're covering their ass because they did, when COVID hit, they had like event exclusive models.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we can't really do any events, so we're going to make them on our website for people to be able to purchase. And so people were able to do that, and they even brought some old ones back. Same as also, one of the event models was a Primaris company champion, which has become available again in the Partwork magazine. So I think that's why they're covering themselves. So if they ever release those things again in other areas, they're able to say, well, we did say it might come back, which also means some of the other ones that they did, even as Warhammer Plus exclusive miniatures, may come in the future.
Well, that makes sense, because I don't know how they could like afford to make these miniatures and have them, like, unless they sell like hotcakes. They have some way of doing like a limited run on their end, production wise. I didn't know how they could make that happen, but that's a good observation, Glenn, that I totally missed. And I'm choosing to read that as this Gene Sealer is definitely going to be in a new Space Hulk box, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Would you buy it?
Yes.
Huh? Would you get the new Space Hulk box?
I think it's gonna. What will I get it if it comes out?
Yep.
Yes, especially if the Gene Sealers look like this. This is way better than those old Space Hulk Gene Sealers. I turned off my camera, I unplugged it. I've got like an old Space Hulk Gene Sealer here. I've got the new Gene Sealer that I sculpted the old back onto. Whatever, that's for another day.
Yeah.
If you want to know how to make your Gene Sealer backs look like this, go to my my channel and Google or look up the Gene Sealer video. It's basically like the most recent like non-stream video I've done. I show you how to sculpt these.
But after we finish the stream.
Okay,
now,
can you start the quiz with Simon now? I gotta go upstairs. I gotta give something to Nora, but can you take it away?
Yeah, okay. That's what I was going to do. So, Simon,
yes.
What this quiz is, it is the oldest model still currently sold by Games Workshop for each faction, so for each army. So I'll tell you the army.
Yeah.
And then you say which model. So it could be a tank, it could be a character, it could be a unit. What you think is the oldest one still currently sold by Games Workshop? You don't have to give the year. Some armies do have multiple, and this does include Forge World as well, because they are now sold on the main Warhammer website.
Are you giving me things I can choose from, or do I have to completely make it up myself?
You've got to completely choose it yourself.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I get why. For some of them, you just have to name one for it, because some of them do have multiple different things. If you don't know, just say you don't know. You haven't got a clue. We'll go from there.
Okay.
And I'm just making sure I cover this all off. This has been updated as recently as Wednesday last week. So that if anything has changed since then, and also I have got quite a few down on there. So we're going to first start off with the Imperial Guard.
Okay.
So what do you think is the oldest faction, the oldest model, unit, or tank still sold by Games Workshop?
Yeah, as you said, tank. With the Imperial Guard, I assume that it is a tank.
I will tell you it is not a tank.
It's not a tank.
Not a tank.
Shit. I would have assumed that it's a tank. Jesus, I don't even know what they have these days.
Just name a unit you think. If you think it's a tank, well, I've told you it's not a tank, but if what you think it could be. It could even be a character or a unit. And this goes across for all armies, other ones as well.
Oh wait, so that's what they still sell?
What is still sold, yeah. So still, if I go to the Games Workshop website right now, something that is still on there that is able to be bought. Even if it says temporarily out of stock, that still means it's able to be bought.
Am I allowed to go to the Games Workshop site?
No, because that's completely cheating.
Oh shit! Oh come on!
No.
I don't know. Well then, if it's not a tank, I would have assumed it's either the Lehman Russ or the Chimera. But
No, it's not those.
as you said, it's no tank. I would assume it's probably one of the. They don't sell the units anymore, so it would be a special character. Maybe those. I don't know, from the desert dudes. There's a character still sold because I'm
You're
engineering
referring
backwards
to the
here.
Talon Desert Raiders, a character from them.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to make you be as specific as possible. So you think it's the Talon Desert Raiders, and it's a character from them. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay, no, you're completely off world because it is the Katachan Jungle Fighters.
For fuck's sake, are they still selling them?
They are still selling those models from 1999.
Oh Jesus.
They know how to party like it's the new millennium.
The Muscle Men. They're still selling the Muscle Men,
They're still selling the Muscle Men.
and they
Okay,
don't.
so-
And they're not ashamed.
But yeah, they're not. So the next army we're going to is the Space Marines, the Adeptus Astartes. What do you think is the oldest model still sold? So remember, it is either unit, tank, or character.
Okay, I would have thought that again a character because of the tanks. If I recall it, Diana said, "Good luck." Yes, thank you. Apparently, I'm needing it.
Yeah.
And good on you, Blitz, that you called the Catechans. Please help me out with this one. No,
Jack, you can also take part.
yeah, you can also guess. Oh Jesus. Space Marines. I would say a character. Probably I don't know, from the Ultramarines. Because I think the Blood Angels got new ones. The Dark Angels recently got new ones. Ooh,
Final answer?
maybe Space Wolves. Our Firstborn still sold.
Some Firstborn are still sold.
Okay, then it's definitely Firstborn character. Final answer is a Space Wolf character.
Again, you are incorrect.
Surprise!
It is the Land Raider
Jesus.
the year 2000.
The Land Raider is that old.
The Land Raider is that old.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this moves us on to the Eldar or the Eldari.
Eh.
What do you think is the oldest model still available to be purchased on the Games Workshop website?
The Phoenix Lord, they did not renew.
So you're talking about Karandras,
Yes.
the Striking Scorpion's Phoenix Lord. You are on the right idea with this by not going for one of those, but you are incorrect. It is the Viper, so you know their little fast
Yeah.
one where they got two people on, or their Falcon tank. And that is either 97 or 98 when they were released.
Jesus, just imagine how much this has paid off.
Yeah.
They have not changed a damn thing. And can you tell any other product that has been sold unchanged for such a long time?
It was the Warp Spiders from 1994 until.
Yeah, but the Warp Spiders are a specific unit.
Yeah.
But I would go further and say, like, can you imagine any other product like I don't know, from starting from washing machines, going over to you name it, anything that has been unchanged since 97.
Oh yeah, there is something. It's there's a story about this, but it's something that archaeologists found. It was like a bone thing. They were like, "What is this? We don't have a clue what it is," and went to some people because they thought it was to do with that, and
Yeah.
they went to them and because it was like made of bone or something. I can't remember what it exactly was. They went to them, "What is it?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, I've got one of these myself." The design was exactly the same, and
Oh,
it
wow.
was from prehistoric times. So it was something that had not changed. The design was the same for thousands of years.
Are you talking about ancient
Okay.
aliens?
No, something there. Like, archaeologists discovered something like made of bone in like a dig site. They didn't know what it was and went to like I can't remember what the actual place was, but they went to them and they were like, "Oh, do you know what this is?" And they were, "Yeah, it's this." And they just pulled out one of their own ones because it was just the material, the bone it was used from was so good that it was just that's what they were always taught to use because it was that, and it had been like the same for thousands of years. Now, Nick, I know you just
So
missed
I'm
it.
looking
but
at Blitz Mechanica's responses to the quiz, and I can see that you're done now because he went through all the stuff we already talked about.
yeah, but we did Eldar. Now it has changed since we last did the quiz.
I still say it's the Viper.
You are now correct. It is now the Viper.
Oh, because you can't buy the warp spiders anymore?
Can't buy the warp spiders anymore.
Yay, look at me. How did Simon do? Sorry, I had to help Nora with something.
Very bad.
So did I, man, don't worry.
He's made very good educated guesses.
But this is like the period of Warhammer that he should know.
Yeah. Like Tom Wilson was right. It was a leatherworking tool that was talking about the bit that was made of bone.
Jesus, I can tell you the catalog from 2005.
Yeah.
But how am I supposed to know what is sold today?
Oh, right.
That's the fun of this.
Right.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
you have fun. I look stupid, but I'm used to looking stupid in front of people. So please continue.
Okay, so
don't worry, I'll join you now, buddy.
Is Dark Eldar.
Dark Eldar.
I thought you guys did that.
Yeah.
No?
No, we just did Eldar. We're on Dark Eldar right now.
Dark Eldar. So it must be something from 3rd edition. And what could possibly be still sold from 3rd edition?
I'm going to stop you right there and tell you that nothing's still sold from 3rd edition, so you can have a better guess at this.
Oh.
I'll tell you when they when it was the year to just give you better. So it was 2010. So it was 5th edition.
Yeah, so it must be the year that they put them on the first time, and I think the Warriors have gotten an upgraded sprue at some point.
Yeah, for Kill Team, you mean?
I don't know if it was for Kill Team. I wouldn't assume that this counts, but I feel like they have gotten a new gotten their sprue redesigned.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got an upgrade sprue added for the Hand of the Archon for Kill Team. So you're right.
So
kind of.
if it's not the Warriors, it would be the I don't know what's it called in English, the Bark.
Oh, the ship?
Yeah, they're what they're riding on.
Raider.
That's your answer?
Yeah.
Yep, you have a correct answer.
Yeah.
So
1 out of 4.
Dark Eldar has quite a lot. Now, if
But
you
it's
had
not
said
that old compared to other ranges.
they're from 2010, so actually it is quite old for like quite a bit of their range. If you had said the Warriors, the Cabalite Warriors, I would have given it to you because the Cabalite Warriors and the Kill Team are 2 separate boxes.
Oh,
with
they
the
still
Kill Team
sell
one
the
having
other
the
ones?
extra sprue. Pardon?
They still sell the normal Cabalite Warriors?
Yeah, they do.
Oh.
But you could have had the Scourges, which are the ones with the wings. The
Oh,
Hellions.
those are still such
ones
tasty models. I love me a Scourge. Oh.
the Hellions, the ones with the hoverboards.
But they came later.
They were all updated in 2010 in the 5th edition, and these are the same models that are available right now.
Yeah, and they were not they
They
were
haven't
late.
had an update since then. Yeah.
But
But
yeah,
these
I'm that old that I have been there when they released the Dark Eldar the first time after third
Yes.
edition, and I'm pretty sure that Hellions and Scourges were a second wave.
In 3rd edition, yes, but in 5th edition, when this all came out in 2010, because I can't go back and see exactly what week things were released.
Yeah.
These are when they did. But you've also got the Witches, the
Yes.
Venom,
Yeah.
the Talos or the Kronos, because that was a dual kit, and you've got the Rax as well.
Yeah.
Now, for the faction we all know, the Tyranids.
Oh fuck. It's a point where you can
I had
only blame
controversial
yourself,
opinions
right?
about this, Simon, so let's see how you go.
Sorry?
I had controversial opinions about this one, so let's see how you do.
I have told Simon, Forge World does count.
Does?
I have said it does count.
Okay. Now I just need to know what they're still selling from Forge World.
Not much.
Do they still? Can you tell me if they still sell the Simon Egan sculpts? Does that
Yeah.
count? They do or they don't?
Simon Egan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some, not all.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
You can guess a Simon Egan sculpt.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the oldest Tyranid?
Yeah, that's what I would assume because they have.
Simon's not as obsessive as looking at Games Workshop's product line as I am.
Yeah.
Are you trying to give me slag here?
No, I'm just saying
No,
that you're no, I'm actually saying that you're better than I am. That you're not a fanboy like I am. That you're more sane.
You're less likely to know the answer because you're not ingrained of what is there, what can I get?
Okay.
Like me.
Yeah, I would go with the Simon Egan sculpt.
Would you like to be a little bit more specific or not?
He doesn't know which ones are not selling anymore. Tell him which ones are not selling.
Okay, so the ones that are not selling, the Hyro Jewels, either of them are not selling. The
Oh, well.
Flying Hive Tyrants that they made don't sell anymore. The Meiotic Spores. Actually, it's easier if I just say which ones are still selling that are on Forge World.
Yeah.
So it's basically the Harridan, the Hierophant. I think that's it, actually.
Oh, then it's easy. The Harridan.
There you go, you got it. 2002 was the Harridan. The next ones are the Carnifex and the Hierophant from 2005.
Woo-hoo!
Now, for the Tau.
Wait, hold on.
And,
Hold on. I'm eating something,
Yeah.
sorry. Simon,
yeah, we did.
What?
my controversial opinion was that I said the Warriors are still technically the same Warrior sculpts that came out in 2001 or whatever it was.
Yeah, but they
recut
had
the sprue. Huh?
the sprue was remade.
Yeah, but they didn't change the sculpts. Like, if you look at the armor plates on one that came out in 2021 or 2001, and you look at the armor plates on the ones that were redone in 2010 or 2014 or whatever, it's the same armor plates.
What about the
Yeah, but-
Tyranid Prime?
Yeah, but it's not the same product, right?
Yeah,
I guess
that's
so.
why the product and the sculpts. Well, yeah, the design is exactly the same. It's a different kit because of
Yeah.
how the sprue's laid
Right.
out and everything else
Sure.
within that kit. But also now we move on to Tau.
Okay. I'm pretty sure the Fire Warriors did get a new box at some point. They must have.
Mm-hmm.
So that would leave. How much do I know about? Are they still selling the battle suits?
They do still sell battle suits.
Well, then I would assume it's either the battle suits or the transport tank. What's it called?
Devilfish.
Devilfish. Yeah.
So which one are you going for? The suits or the devilfish?
I would go for the devilfish because tank kits are usually later changed than troop types.
You made the right choice.
Good man.
Yeah.
Because the hammerhead and the devilfish have the same base kit, and they came out both time in 2001. The Skyray gunship had an upgrade to it, which was 2006. That's why that one's different. Also, the XV8 Crisis battlesuit, they got a new sprue redesign. Even though it's like the Warriors, same look, they got a new sprue redesign. So that's why they aren't in this for this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's so good
now
that you said tanks in the beginning. Otherwise, I wouldn't even have considered that. But this makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Now-
got it too, buddy. Flynn was like,
Yeah.
no, the Skyray gunship. I'm like, I'm not talking about the Skyray, man. I'm talking about the devilfish. He's like, what? I'm like, the devilfish.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to. I made sure I double checked it this time round. Now we're
I only
on
knew
to
that
the
because
orc.
I remember when they were released because my brother bought Tau like right away.
Yeah.
He had like the launch box.
Okay, so we've got orcs next.
Okay. Oh. Jesus. That's a tough one because I don't know the catalog. If I knew it and they were still selling things like the tractor gun, it would be something like that. Like those artillery pieces. But I don't know if they still sell them.
I know what you're referring to.
So I don't assume that it would be a character model. Well, that's the other one because I feel like the oldest that I know would be second edition, and I don't know if they have anything left over from second edition. So the next thing would be third edition, and from third edition we have the boys, which are unchanged. Or wait. I think the boys did get a change to the boss's claw at some point. Well, in that case, I would say the pickup.
The truck.
Yes, I think in German it's called the pickup. Yeah, it's
Pickup.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I know exactly what model you're referring to. And if this didn't include Forge World, you would have got the answer.
Oh Jesus!
I think that means that he got it.
Yeah, I'd give it to you because this one does
Battlewagon?
include Forge World. It is the Gargantuan Squigoth. Is still available.
Oh, not yet.
From
It's still they
2002.
still sell it.
That is still sold. Yeah.
Oh wow!
However, the truck, the Orc Boys, the Looters, the Burner Boys, and the Weird Boy are all from 2008. Now,
wow.
the next section is Necrons.
Wait, you said Burner Boys? No, truck.
But the truck, Orc
I'm pulling
Boys,
this stuff up
Looters.
because I got nothing else to put on the screen.
Yeah.
2008?
Yeah. Well, Nick, let me just send you a link that will make this a lot easier for you.
Wait, but don't I have to do the questions after? Because we didn't get to
Yeah.
them, right?
You can, but after I give you, because I'm going to send you a link, and then you can click on the different armies
Okay, cool.
after we do it. So, but just so you know, Space Marines, we've just done all Space Marines in one because the answer was basically the same for everything of the Land Raider.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait, did you already do that with Simon? Oh.
We already did that. We already
Good.
did that one. We did it very early. I'm just going to put it in our Discord bit, so there's no cheating.
Okay.
So it's there, just so it's easier. Okay. So, Necrons were oh, it's not
So
not
this
the
is
battle
the
wagon,
same
the
kit,
actual truck.
the Land Raider. I'm pretty sure when this came out in Canada, it was $50 or maybe $60, and now it's $112. Fantastic.
Oh wait, my stream's behind where you are. Yeah. Yeah.
Copy
There's
link.
Land Raider,
Okay, one
stupid
sec.
amount.
Oh.
Yeah. So, but we're on Necrons. So, what do you think is the oldest kit model, whatever you want to call it, still sold by Games Workshop for the Necrons.
Is the monolith still sold?
They updated it.
There is a monolith.
They made a new one in the last release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who?
I have an idea.
What did they?
Huh?
I'm trying to go back in memory and try to think of what they sold in the very beginning, because I was there when the Necrons were born.
Wait, were you there when like the real Necrons were born, like the creepy ones that came out in White Dwarf?
Chaos androids.
No, they weren't
Yes.
Chaos androids. They were Necrons, but they were pewter.
Yes, that was the fabled White Dwarf with the Battle Sister
Yes.
on them.
Yeah, and
Yes.
the first destroyer was like a deck chair with some jets on it.
Yeah.
No, it would have been the release after that. So when I think about this, I tend to think about the models that they would sell the least of, which are probably least likely to get renewed.
Mm.
So I'm thinking like a character model.
Yeah, but I haven't. Well, I remember the initial release, but I have no idea what came afterwards. So my next guess would be some sort of character, but I cannot name any character aside from this weird collector dude.
Oh, yeah. Is that Trazyn? I don't know. I don't know their names.
Nick, we
So
didn't get to Necrons. So what do you think your guess is?
I guess there's going to be some kind of Necron Lord miniature that they're still selling that's in Finecast. But I don't know if they replaced them all when they did the most recent Necron wave.
Is that both your final answer, a Necron character?
Simon?
Do they still sold-
No. I revised my
Do they-
idea. I'm cheating. I'm
Do they
scrolling
still
through
s-
I'm scrolling through the website. I think it's going to be the Immortals.
Okay, so you'll go with the Mortals.
The hovering things.
Oh, the Destroyer? Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
guess.
Are you sure you want to change your answer, Simon?
I think, Simon, you're going with the hovering things?
Or do you want to
Yeah.
stay with the character?
I said character, Simon said Destroyers.
Then you said Immortals.
Oh, I changed my answer to Immortals. Simon said
Yeah.
Destroyers.
I mean, we started both with characters.
Simon's right. I think Simon's right.
Yeah, I will go with the hover dudes, destroyers or what?
He's right? He's got to be.
If you had stuck with Trazyn,
Really? No, the
Would have been
Destroyers still have the
correct.
plastic rods.
are they in the website?
Yeah. Online only, temporarily out of stock, temporarily.
How did I know? But no, Simon's right then, because I know those are older than everything else.
Yep, Simon's right. He nailed it.
How did I miss that on my thing?
I guess the Immortals are a dual kit, so they were probably around 2008 to 2011
Yeah,
or 12. But
because
those
I know, 'cause
Destroyers are
everything-
the same as the very first plastic Necrons that were released.
Immortals was 2011 because
Look at me!
Good work.
I thought I actually double checked that. I did not see those because I can actually see exactly because the Destroyers are from 2002, and they're not even.
Wow. Oh, no,
If you-
no. Also, the Nightbringer is still available.
What?
Is he?
Yeah.
Was
Didn't
was
he
I
get a
going
new
when I
model?
checked this one? Well, no, I thought they were completely not available anymore.
So I just pulled it up now. I just pulled up that helpful website that you had.
yeah.
And yeah, the Nightbringer. There's
Oh
a
yeah, he's
bunch.
still there. Yeah.
Nightbringer and
Yeah, he's
Deceiver
still-
are still available. The Destroyers are still available.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
So
Yeah, I
it
must have missed them.
would be very close between the Nightbringer and the destroyers, right?
The same.
we're
They
just
were all
doing
released in
all
the
of-
same wave.
Same year. Because it's just like we can't really discern between it all. Next one.
So Trazyn wasn't released until 2011.
Yeah.
So only those old Necron lords with the green tubes, but they don't have those anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, then no green tubes survive except for those.
It's so weird
but
that they
the
still
swap-
have the.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead, Flynn.
tubes. The next one.
Oh, it's got
is...
the old Necrons here.
Yeah, they've got all the old ones.
Dude.
That's why I was able to use the site to do everything.
What?
Gene Stealer Cults is the next one.
Oh, what? Well, that's
Oh.
easy. Simon?
It should be easy.
For someone who's paying attention. Well, I have no idea what they're selling.
Well,
from
just
the...
think back to what came out before.
I'm going to give a hint. We have mentioned the kit this was initially released in. Already on the
wait. What? Oh.
Well, then it would be a kill team box, right?
So I have my answer.
Oh, no. Gene Stealers just got updated, so it wouldn't be them.
Mm-hmm.
So Gene Stealer Cults.
Yeah, well, to me, two occult pew strains are essentially a part of the occult, but...
Yeah, but they don't have those anymore.
Yeah,
So what? Think about what else is in the cult.
What?
Think about what else is in the cult.
Yeah, well, Brood Brothers and Amagus.
Yep.
So I would go with the Brood Brothers.
I'm gonna go with, because I'm a nerd, the Patriarch, the Primarch, the Patriarch, the Primus, and the Magus. I'm gonna tell you, Flynn, that they were released in 2016.
So you're going with the Brood Coven.
They were released in 2015.
So what year are you going? 15? 16?
15.
15.
Overkill. Deathblock Overkill box.
Should have stuck with the original guess of 16.
What? Damn.
2016.
But I'm right on Deathblock Overkill, right?
Yeah, it is. It was Overkill. It's the Brood Coven. They are still available.
And they're still expensive, and I still have them lying around because I bought this stupid box because I wanted the Brood Brothers for something.
Yeah.
And I'm still sitting on those character models.
Yo, you have the Overkill box?
Everything.
Do you still have the Aberrants?
No.
It's so good.
Simon, did you get the most recent Kill Team box or whatever it was for Gene Stealers?
I think it was with what was it? Primaris? No, Custodes in it.
Oh, yep.
Shadow of the Throne.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant you had Overkill. No, sorry. Okay.
No.
Yeah, but they always throw the Brood Coven box into everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look at this sexy boy.
And I recall looking something up and seeing that box and seeing the price for it and being like, oh yeah, that is resting in my bits box ever since, and I'm not touching it because I dream of selling it but I don't do it.
All right. So I am conscious of the time, so we're going to move on to the next one, which is Harlequins.
Didn't we already do? I think
the
I did
oldest
this last
thing
time.
that Harlequins have is probably the Eldar Viper.
Oh, tricky. Lynn, I think I answered this last time, didn't I?
I can't remember if you. No, I don't think we actually got this far with it.
Okay.
Because we definitely didn't get to the Brood Coven before.
I think the Harlequins have been all updated. Oh no, wait. No, not the solitaire. Shadow. God, what is it called? No, is that plastic too? I think they got a whole plastic wave, and I don't think that anything remains from their Finecast days.
I will tell you, everything is plastic.
It's gonna be the players or whatever, the normal Harlequin rank and file troops.
Oh wait,
No. They have transport. And the transport is Vipers. No, not Vipers.
No, they've got those Starweavers or something. I think they came later.
The small skimmers.
Yeah, I think they came later. Okay, I've got... You're not sculpting, so I've just got, like, part of your crotch on the screen.
yeah. Do you want the answer?
Simon, what are you saying? Viper?
My final answer is the transport tank.
The little skimmers?
Yep.
Oh, is this a trick question? Is it the Venom? Because I think Harlequins can take Venoms.
I'm going by what's on the website that I've shown you, Nick.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, okay, I'm
going to say that.
I'm going to say rank and file troops. Final answer. Simon's going with the skimmers.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're both correct because everything currently available for the Harlequins is all currently the most up-to-date versions they have from 2017.
Because I was going to guess Shadow Seer, but I forgot that they made a plastic.
2015. Sorry. I read the bit wrong. 2015. Because the Troop, the Solitaire, the Skyweaver, Starweaver, Voidweaver, those Weavers are the Vipers for them, the Death Jester, and the Shadow Seer are all up-to-date models for them.
2015, okay.
I had to quickly double-check that because...
I don't know, the new Death Jester's cool, but I like the old Death Jester's pose as well.
Yeah, I do like that. I had to double-check that quite quickly because
also,
I was like,
fun fact, that Solitaire model, I love rolling this out. Why is my computer doing weird? So this amazing Solitaire model that's like jumping over a piece of scenery and has like the cool like diamond pattern on his cloak. Jess Goodwin told me that this was one of the last models he ever sculpted in green stuff. He sculpted this in green stuff. This model, this amazing model. This was not digital.
Were the days, right?
God, so good.
Okay.
Anyway, all right, cool. Next,
we move on to the Chaos Knights.
What?
They are their own faction. They are their own faction. I know this is because that's
really
annoying, but they do have an old one.
The Chaos Knight is the oldest thing of the Chaos Knights.
Agreed. Same. Let's see.
No.
What?
Of course not. It would be obvious. I have no fucking clue.
Chaos Knights do have different variants.
Are you talking about the stupid Forge World stuff?
No, I am actually not talking about the stupid stuff.
They did get an update. Everyone was excited with the stupid flail or something like that.
Oh, it's not even that. They actually have the Knight Despoiler, which you can still buy as its own separate kit. Is from 2016.
It's just a conversion sprue on like the normal Knight?
Yeah, basically.
What does it even do? Like I'm looking at it right now. Does it just have like a different head?
If you look, it's got a big cannon on the top. It's got the artillery bit. It's basically their own, like their very tame version of like a Chaos Knight. It's the tamest version you can get.
Okay, that's a shitty question because Knights are boring anyway. Okay,
yeah.
Move on.
But they used to have the Forge World one was still available, but that's now no longer sold. But that one actually had like different armor pieces, which was actually cool.
Knight Despoiler literally, it just looks like transfers. I see no different bits on it.
Yeah, and you can still buy it for the Knights.
Okay, that's dumb.
A question to the chat and everyone listening. When snipers carry their weapon on their back, do they carry them with the barrel upwards or downwards?
Oh, I think down.
Hang on.
Because I think then you can swing it under your arm and have it ready.
Yeah, I feel like there's something about dirt getting into the barrel.
If it's down or up?
If it's down.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
So I recall that there was something about that, how they carry it. But
Someone in the chat will know. I have no idea.
I don't know.
maybe the chat knows.
This is so dumb. These quote unquote chaos versions are just paint schemes.
Well, after before they got to the actual Chaos Codex, when they got the Chaos Knight Codex actually given out, when they actually got the Knight Abominant, that's when they actually, well, when they had the Rampage and Desecrator, they started getting their own sort of things, but the actual Abominant is their first proper, like, chaosy version.
So Tom Wilson says it just has alternate transfers.
Yeah.
And Tom Wilson also said I was going to say Nightbringer and Deceiver for the Necrons, so he nailed that one.
Yeah.
Okay, any more, Flynn? Are we done?
So we still have 1, 2, 3.
Don't do
4,
Leagues of Votan, I don't care.
Well, that's not even Votan. Votan is very simple. You should be able to get, like, just describe what unit and you'll get it. But okay, so Chaos Demons.
Ooh, that one is interesting. Simon, oldest Chaos Demon.
I would go with Bloodletters.
Oh, you win. I don't have another answer. That's the best answer.
You're both going Bloodletters. Bloodletters is correct.
Simon's going with Bloodletters, and I'm just copying him.
Yeah. You could have also gone with Seekers of Slanesh, the Soul Grinder.
I thought the Seekers, they redid them.
No, these are the same Seekers.
Really?
Yeah, for Chaos Demons. Because you may be thinking for Age of Sigmar, but they don't sell them for both factions.
They still sell the Seekers of Slanesh?
They still sell the Seekers of Slanesh.
Wait, are those Demonettes still available? Those horrible ones?
Which you're not thinking of the...
No, I'm thinking of the ones... The ones that released at the same time as the Bloodletters.
Yeah, the 2008 ones, yeah.
Interesting.
Those are still surprisingly sold.
Oh, that's where Simon gets his claws.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the chat. See, wait, where am I looking at? I'm just making sure I'm actually.
AI is good for something after all.
Yeah. The Seekers are still sold.
Weird.
The Soul Grinder, you could have had Skull Taker as a character. You could have had not Skull Taker, Skull Master is a different thing. I'm trying to see where that was.
So wait, were the Corn Demons the right answer?
Yeah,
yeah,
you were. Yeah, you nailed it.
And the Demonettes were the answers for you.
Yeah, they were first wave.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. So we now go to Chaos Space Marines. So if you remember the answer for Space Marines, you might have a good chance with this.
You mean Land Raider?
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, it's the Land Raider and or the Rhino in 2002.
A Rhino?
So,
yeah, Rhino would have been my other guess.
Didn't I say Rhino before?
You said that for the Space Marines when we did that the other week, but because what happened was for the Rhino, someone wanted to one of the designers at Games Workshop really wanted to redesign the Rhino, but Games Workshop wouldn't let him. What they ended up giving him was one of the other tanks to redesign. So I think it was either the Vindicator, or I think it was the Predator. I think it was most likely the Predator. He redesigned the Predator, but did a new Rhino chassis,
Or the Predator, sneaky.
Which then they also was like, oh, okay, we'd use that. And then at the same time, the Rhino got redone. Because of that, when Chaos came out in 2002, getting their update, they got the new Land Raider and they got the new Rhino variation, because obviously they're going to use those ones because it makes sense to use them across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one is Imperial Knights.
Oh Jesus, it's a knight.
Don't care, the knight. Imperial Knight. The Nighty Night Warden Knight.
Okay, the Warden is a type of knight, so
I don't care about knights. I literally could, like, if there's one thing I care about less than Space Marines, it's knights. Okay. Simon, do you care about knights?
I think they're kind of an interesting model topic. They have been interesting when there were just one sort of them. and I think they sparked an interesting third market.
Yeah. Oh, you're right about that.
What I think is interesting from my perspective about Knights is that they're basically a large canvas for things.
Or sculpting,
and
as you showed.
Yes, for sculpting and other things, and I like that in the beginning. Nowadays, I'm partly bored by that.
Yeah.
Because people get sloppy a little bit.
Yeah.
Today, I saw on Instagram a knight shoulder pad where someone had painted stained glass on, like some saint, religious
Painting class, yeah.
glass things.
Yep.
And on first glance, it looked superb. It looked amazing. And then on second glance, you saw that it was 3 layers. And I know that if you do glass, it's it can be really tricky, and of course, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it was painted for effect. And it was painted for you see it from 2 feet away. No, from 2 meters away, and think, wow, this looks amazing. And then you get closer and see, like, okay, that's that. Oh, yeah, okay, it's cool. That's a good job. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And sorry, that's what I kind of like and dislike at the same time about Knights.
Okay, Flynnhammer, I have no guess. Simon, do you want to make a guess?
It's the Knight. I have no idea about Knights.
I
Okay.
said Warden. Oh no.
Yeah. Warden is a type of knight, but the 2 types is the paladin and the errant. Yeah. It's a bit political. Yeah, but but they're from 2014. So that's why. Now, next one is the Sisters of Battle.
Ooh.
Now remember, they did have a full plastic update to them.
I don't think they have anything original. Oh, wait. Can you still buy preachers? Or priests, or whatever the heck they're called? That's my guess.
Yeah.
I know what you're referring to.
As well.
And I don't know, so that they are all plastic now.
Oh, then
All plastic. I'm going to double check it while we're doing this, because
if they're all plastic, I'm pretty sure all their vehicles were replaced.
Yeah.
I'm going to just say the Battle Sisters.
Yeah, it would be my guess as well, because the Immolator, used to be a great kit, but didn't survive, I guess. So the next thing would be troops.
Going with the Battle Sisters.
Yeah.
Sorry to say that is not correct.
What?
The correct answer is Celestine the Living Saint.
Oh, because she came out early.
She came out earlier.
Damn it!
Yeah.
One of the I can't say the word, but the 3 groups of people. She came out alongside Belisarius Call and the other Inquisitor.
Is it Gathering Storm? What was that thing even called?
Gathering Storm. Yep, that was it. I couldn't remember the name of it as well, but yeah, that was it.
Friggin' Celestine.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, damn it.
So
Makes
next.
Absolutely sense.
What's that, Simon?
I said makes absolutely sense.
Next one, Adeptus Mechanicus.
Oh,
Is it Belisarius? No, it's not Belisarius Call. It's
why not?
Skitari.
Okay.
Called Skitari Rangers. I don't really know the name.
That's all right. I'll accept that answer. Simon?
Well, I have no fucking clue, but I would have thought that Belisarius Call, if that was the he's so old in the box with the Celestine, he would be now. He's so old, but for him to show up and be a character, there had to be an army for that before that. So I would say yes, standard troops.
So I know what you're referring to by standard troop. So that's a Skitarii.
Yeah.
And you are both correct with Skitarii. One of the groups of Skitarii is called the Rangers. The other is the Vanguard.
Yep.
So basically, this is all nearly everything from their release in 2015 is still there. So you've got the Onager Doomcrawler, you've got their Engine Seers, their Electro Priests, the Dominus, the Sidonian Dragoons, the Iron Striders, Ballistarius, the Castellan Robots, the Sicarian Infiltrators or the Sicarian Ruststalkers, and the Cataphron Battle Servitors. Now, we also next one is the Custodes.
Oh god. Gilded Space Marines. Also don't care. The standard rank and file Custodes guys, I don't even know.
I know who you're referring to.
Simon?
Simon?
Yeah, me too. I have no fucking. They probably haven't gotten left and right and center some characters along the way, but I would assume that their standard troop choice has not been changed since
You are
the release.
both correct. The Custodian Guards 2016. They have not changed. They've been like upgrade sprues for specific units, such as that they're Scouty Boys, but that's they are sold as their own separate unit. The Custodian
Scouty
Guards
Boys?
has not changed. Yeah, they've got what the people refer to them. They're basically Scouts, but they're not Scouts. The only other faction we haven't touched is the Leagues of Votan.
Oh man, that Custodes miniature that released in 2024.
Which is
Which one?
The shield captain, the squatty boy, who's got his foot on the rock.
Yeah.
I think that's one of those miniatures that someone sculpted back like 10 years ago. Is they're like, hey, welcome to Games Workshop model. Just like saved it and released it later.
No, I think that's one of the Kotias. The board, there was too many. These people want to have a say. These people want to have a say. One of those models.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. God, what a squatty boy. Votan, the standard Votan dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I'm giving you that. I don't even know what the name is, but there is the 2022. So basically, nearly everything there is still the same. You've got the Uthar, the Carl, the Grimnit, the Hearthkin.
The answer is nobody knows and nobody cares.
The Iron Master, the Thunderkin, the Einhir Champion.
The only interesting part of the Votan page here is going back and looking at squats.
Yeah. If you want squats, though, I say go for the Necromunda ones. They look better.
They're pretty cool.
The only thing I think I like from the squats is the Land Fortress, because you can make Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Honestly, I don't dislike them, but they don't rock my boat as well. So
they're perfectly cromulent models.
Better.
I mean, cool that they brought squats back. But...
Yeah.
Okay, are we done? It's getting late.
That is the end of the quiz.
Weren't you going to go through all the chaos guys? Just kidding.
I haven't kept score because that was up to you guys to do. This was just more of a fun bit. But yeah, it's a...
Simon wins because he thought bloodletters before I did.
Yeah, Simon did get quite a lot of them, which was... And he did play down that a bit of like, it was I don't know stuff. So it was really well done.
I thank you. I close this with answering Tom Wilson. Google might have not been helpful, but ChatGPT has been, and the barrel on snipers goes upwards for 3 different reasons. One of them is no dirt gets in the barrel, therefore always pointing upwards. Although there might be difference in deployment and personal, But with that, I have finished 10 models today.
Holy cow, look at you, buddy.
I have finished a bunch of Gene Stealers. And I started with the model for Altars of the Dead Gods. And I have finished this little fun dude here. Who is going to be something that I am owing to Noah from Berlin since early last year.
Cool.
Because there's someone on Instagram called Immaterial Creations, I guess, and he does this this bash swap.
Yeah.
And I took part, and Noah is a very friendly dude from Berlin, and he sent me some demon thing that I wanted to use in my campaign weekend, but I didn't get it painted, and there was no use for it in the rules, and therefore it was never finished. And I never finished my exchange thing for him, as I'm a little fucker. I wanted it to finish it by the end of last year, which I didn't because last year was incredibly busy in the end. But now I have this one, and I built. I built at the end of November. I built 2 weird bashes for alien zoology, and this one here is going to. I will send Noah one of the monsters I built for alien zoology, and this dude is going to accompany this weird ox that I made.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
So this is another model that I sent away. All these models you see here are going to be sent away. That's funny.
Hey, man, I think that that's the best way to do it. Just like do it, get the idea out of your head, and just send them off.
Yep.
Like get it into the flesh so you can be like, this is my idea for it. Here's the model. I don't need it on my shelf. See you later.
Yep.
Okay. Last Space Hulk was released in 2009. Comes out this year. 16 years.
Wrong.
No, that other one was different. That was like they recast them in like PVC or something.
The 2009 was a reprint of the 2004 Space Hulk.
What?
Yep.
Why do they have it listed? They have it listed wrong here then.
Let me have a check, because that's when they. I remember it being 2000. I do.
Simon, you bought it when you were working at Games Workshop.
Let me check. Yeah, when I searched
got the T-shirt from that Games Day. That was so cool because the Games Day T-shirt back then was the Gene Stealer skull.
Oh, nice.
And the staff had Terminators.
Oh.
So all the customers were running around with the Gene Stealer skull, and every one of the staff was having that Terminator helmet.
You remember
and I
what
still
year?
have them.
Oh wait, no, I got my years wrong. It is 2009. It's 2014. It got a re-release. That's where I was getting the 4 from.
There you go.
Yeah, that's why I was double checking my stuff quickly.
I still have one of those boxes still sealed.
Wasn't that supposed to be mine?
What?
Didn't I ask you to buy me a box?
When? I don't know.
When you were working. I thought I asked you to grab me one, but I have no idea. Might be a mismemory.
You are dreaming of that.
Okay.
No, seriously, I have no idea.
Well, you better keep it. It'll put your kids through college.
I assume so, yes, but they will eventually reprint and resell all those things, and
maybe, you don't know. That's 2009 one or the 2014 one?
the first edition.
Okay, yeah.
No, yeah.
All right, let's call it. We've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
What's going on in the chat?
Yeah,
Hi, chat. Oh, triumvirate. Thanks, Tom Wilson. That was the word we were looking for the Gathering Storm people.
Yeah. Well, before we do anything further, just say, if you want to get any of these old models and they're available in stores for some strange reason, or you want to go and help Nick out, you can use his affiliate link with Fenris. Which is handily in the description.
Yeah, that's if you're in Canada, though.
But if you want to support our beloved host, he has a Patreon
I do.
where you can throw money at him.
I owe I owe an STL of Patreon people. It's coming soon, I swear. I just gotta like put my shit together and get the post together. But yeah, they're getting that real soon. I appreciate anyone who supported me on Patreon because it's like a tip jar sort of thing. I don't really post new stuff on there that much. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, thank you guys for streaming on a non-standard day. Thank you to everyone who turned up for this. I see still in the chat Electro Dust Bunny, Tom Wilson, Radon, Diana. Diana says, don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave a comment, check out Patreon and affiliate link. Thank you, Diana. Yeah, the Krieg dudes went on pre-order today. If you want any Krieg and you live in Canada, Fenris Workshop will get them for you cheap. So just look in the description of this video. There's a link to my Fenris Workshop, Patreon, or whatever, affiliate thing. And anytime you make a purchase through that link, it really helps. It helps me. Fenris Workshop has been the one like sponsor, whatever, who has lent the most support to my channel, which is amazing. And also, if it's your first order with Fenris Workshop ever, you can use the code pink-fenris. I think that's in there or something. You get 10% off your first order, but it's a one-time code, so just use it wisely. Yeah, thanks. Simon, thank you so much for taking the time and for doing it on a non-standard day. Glenhammer, thank you so much for making the time on a Saturday to hang out and for putting together this whole quiz. I think it was a lot of fun. Simon, what do you think?
Yes, it was really funny. Enjoyed it very much.
Trip down memory lane.
Thank you, guys. I've just got to figure out something else now for a fun quiz thingy to do.
And next Creature Conference stream, I think I might have to like actually work late the Friday that we're supposed to do it. I gotta look at my schedule. I got some weird work stuff that might be affecting stream times coming up, but stay tuned. We might try and do it on a Saturday again if that works for people, but I will promise to get better at pre-scheduling them. I just had a lot going on this week. I didn't even know when I could stream. So yeah, thanks for your patience. Glad people were able to join us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.